Welcome back. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. It's the top six show. Football cancelled again. Arsenal versus PSV. Leeds United versus Manchester United. Chelsea versus Liverpool all called off. But there are games in London, in the northwest of Manchester as well. It's all very, very confusing. Football fans let down again. More matches being cancelled, more businesses being damaged, and none of it makes any sense whatsoever. We're going to be delving into that live on the Top 6 show for you today. We've still got Mott's and Patrick to join us soon. They're just running a little bit late. Got a brilliant panel here as well, which I'll introduce in a few moments. We're also going to talk about Ronaldo to Chelsea, Potter's first game, and everything going on with Todd Boehly and crew. It's been a very revealing weekend with Tuchel speaking about his devastation, the real reasons as to why the manager sacked coming out. So we want to get the panel's thoughts on that. Jurgen Klopp under pressure. And we will also be doing our final predictions of the season. Where do we think teams are going to end up? If you watched my video earlier, you've seen mine, and I'm going to put them up on the screen for a split second. Oi, there we go. And they're off again. They're mine. We're doing final predictions a little bit later. But let me introduce my beautiful, wonderful, talented, supreme, the best panelists on social media. First of all, Egal is back by popular demand, looking fresh, looking good to go. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Terry. Hopefully everybody's well. I'm disappointed we're not going to get to see Arsenal play on Thursday, but we'll talk about it.
Absolutely, we will. Of course, probably as angry as me that Man United, we're going to miss out on Man United Leeds before the international break. Kaz is back with us. How you doing, my friend?
I'm happy. I'm very happy. More than you believe.
More than you believe. We'll get into that later. Of course, it wouldn't be a Football Terrace week without seeing the brilliant and the wonderful Colleen. How are you, Coco?
Great. I'm feeling really optimistic for this show. I feel like there's going to be no controversy at all.
No, zero at all. And look, we're going to have to start with it. The boys will be here soon to put their 10 penneth in. But football's off again. Some confusing elements to this, some hugely confusing elements. The biggest being Chelsea Football Club are playing on Wednesday in London. Arsenal Football Club have had to cancel a game in London on the Thursday. But yet Arsenal Football Club can play Brentford in London on the Sunday. Man United and Leeds has been called off on Sunday in Manchester. And of course, Chelsea versus Liverpool has been called off on Sunday in London. Very confusing. Very weird decision-making, poor organization, the people not being taken into consideration, again, in my humble view, veiled under, it's for safety. And for me, it just smells, there's something not right about this, and I don't know what it is. Who wants to take off on this one? Because it's very confusing for me. Go on, Egal.
I'm just going to say this. I feel like it doesn't have anything to do with safety. There's a bunch of ceremonies and other things that they need to do, and police are going to have to go for those things. And they're trying to use whatever excuse that is most reasonable that people would understand to throw it under. Like if I'm not mistaken, this weekend, I get it. There was a lot of stuff going around with the funeral and everything else, and there was a lot of things going on in every city. In my city, they had like some proclamation thing that was going on, and I think Thursday. The reason why Arsenal's game might be canceled on Thursday is because, if I'm not mistaken, something's happening with Charles. Is there like some sort of ceremony for Charles happening on Thursday? Something happening on Thursday that might be stopping us from playing that game. And on the weekend, the reason why Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man United Leeds might not be playing is because those games are more feisty, and you're going to have fans from both sides more ready to fight each other because it's two big games going on right there. So I just feel like it's a cop-out. This whole thing is a cop-out, and they're just trying to they're trying to use any excuse that is reasonable to throw it under the bus.
What are you saying, Kaz? What are you saying, mate? I can tell
you. If I say what I want to say, half of you in here will want to kick me out right now, but I'm not going to say it, so it will remain unsaid. But I just feel sorry for people that plan their weekends, match-going fans, some people will probably been working hard for the last 6 months or 4 months, whatever months, to go watch a particular game in Chelsea v Liverpool, or the Rose Derby in Man United v Leeds, or any game that is cancelled. So if I say what I want to say, yeah, cancel culture will be ruined up and live. But you know what? The only thing I can't say, because I'm a person that I react on emotion quite a lot. So the only logic is you got to respect it at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, because it's somebody that has reigned over the country for many years, and that's just the way things are. I just don't understand why football has to be cancelled and things like cricket and so forth can't be. Cricket can get rowdy sometimes, can't it? Rugby? Rugby? Anyone? No?
Look, I understand. Football brings bigger crowds. Football obviously and I understand. I've had a few people in the comments say, but there's trouble at Man United Leeds and it needs more police presence. I get this.
Yeah.
Including the army and the territorial army, there's a circular 130, 140,000 of them. Some are, of course, right around the world right now doing various things. Some of them just in barracks in other countries. But there's easily 60, 70, 80,000 soldiers currently in the UK. Use them. Use them for a couple of days. Like, I'm sure they will gladly do it. Her Majesty's Army. By the way, the Navy, the Royal Air Force. Do you know what I mean? The postman. No, maybe not the postman. Like, I'm just saying, right? There's multiple other areas that you could use to have enough of a security presence. Because no disrespect, look, I know that there's always risk of terrorism. I'm going to use the word sod it at these types of events, and they've got to be safe and protect the people that want to be there. But there ain't going to be no argy-bargy. It's a bunch of 50, 60, 70-year-olds camping out with cucumber sandwiches to watch the procession, and people bringing their families along and everything else. Procession is probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Like the people, some people want to see the coffin go by and everything else and pay their respects, and I respect that. But use the army. They haven't got to cancel the football, and the logistics of it don't make sense. They've got games going on in London, multiple events going on in London that same day, but can't have a game in Manchester. Now, interestingly as well, what you can do, and I don't know if any of you have ever been made to do this, but I make KJ do it a couple of times a month. KJ, today you're working at home from Birmingham. Tomorrow, I need you in London. So do you know what he does? There's this brilliant invention that came out a few hundred years ago. It's called a train. You go to the train station, you buy a ticket, you get on the train takes you to London. Now, what they could easily do is speak to Sir Richard Branson. Can you put on a special train from Manchester to London? We'll pay for it, of course. We want it to come down. Then what we'll do is we're going to put the police up in a hotel. In fact, what you could do is, schools aren't on Sundays and they're all going to be shut on the Monday. It's a bank holiday. So put them up, some beds, some camp beds in a school hall. They can sleep overnight. They can shower in the PE facilities and then go to work in the morning. I've fixed it for you in a minute. You put them on a train after they finish work on the Sunday. That's what you do. You put them on a train on Sunday and you send them down to London on Monday to do their job. And then when they're finished on Monday, do you know what they do? They go back on a train and they go back to Manchester. They go back to Manchester. We're not asking them to move. We're not asking them to emigrate. Do that. It's simple. I don't understand why they can't go on a train after the game. It's mental. Mental.
They don't care. They don't care about football continuing. They don't care about the game continuing. It's the least amount of issues that they can cause themselves. Let's be honest. These guys, it's not about trying to keep the games going. It's not about trying to keep the fans happy. It's not about none of that. It's about trying to make sure you don't get yourself in any more issues. Because if they ruin their relationship with the police or they ruin their relationship with government officials, it could cause them more issues in the long run. So they're just trying to be as little as nuisances as possible. Hence why they suspended the games and they didn't even try to get the game going on. I don't think they care, Terry. And also, who's going to pay for all that? You think the Premier League is going to try to pay for that? You think the Premier League is going to try to put the money down?
We're paying for it. The taxpayers paying for all of this. Everything that's going on that funeral and so forth, the taxpayers paying for it, and a lot more. So if you see a little bit more money coming out of your bank account at the end of the month, then you know what?
Bro, I'm not even going to get into that, but you know what I mean when I say who's going to pay for the army to get involved.
I do understand that, and I get it, and it's going to cost money, but get it. I'd much rather them spend our money on that than other things this country spends its money on. And again, I'm not going to go into that. Do you know what I mean? But we do some mad stuff with the people's money. This would be something which at least we'd get football. Do you know what I mean? At least we're getting something back to a degree from it, but. It just doesn't make any logical sense. I feel like, and by the way, Sky are just as culpable here. Like, why can't you move the games? I'll tell you why they won't move any of the games around, because they don't want to lose money themselves. Take Liverpool and Chelsea's game can be played on Saturday. Put it on Saturday. But no, they don't want to sacrifice it going out on television. It's all about them making money and keeping money. It's cheaper for the Premier League and the clubs to postpone games than it is to cancel them or play behind closed doors. Lower police presence. Like,
yeah,
you could get the game on one way, shape, or form. They're just choosing not to, and it's wrong.
I just want to add this. This is no disrespect on the monarchy itself either. It's literally just the low level thinking of how to solve an issue that could be solved in a matter of a few minutes, pretty much, as Terry explained nicely. The only thing that it benefits is Liverpool fans, because they don't have to watch that piece of rubbish on the weekend against Chelsea and a bounce back and lose some more points. But
True. I think this has all been done. I think this has all been done for Liverpool, to protect Liverpool from getting
100%. 100%. I'm glad you've seen the way.
This has all been done
100%.
to protect Liverpool. 100%. It's a conspiracy. It's to protect Liverpool. It's to stop Jurgen Klopp from being embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? Every time they concede the goal at the minute, you see more of the brown tooth come back. Like, they're in bits. Absolute bits. Mons, welcome back to the terrace, my friend. Hope you're good.
You know, I didn't even say anything, and Kaz already at my neck. I see this what 4 straight wins does to him. Fair enough. But listen, I don't know. I obviously don't agree with what's going on. Yes, it suits Liverpool. I'm glad. Listen, if anything can stop me watching what I've been watching for the last 3.5 weeks, listen, I'm all down for it. I'm shameless. I'm there for it. But I'm not gonna lie, as a football fan, I don't know why. Let's be honest, Terry. I know you're not surprised, because you man aren't surprised at this. There's no surprises at anything of what they're doing. At the end of the day, football, when it's on, when it's happening, when everyone's happy, they'll go on like it's the most important thing in the world. But when anything politics-wise is put in the mix, you know what's going to happen. Football just gets put on the back burner. You know what I'm saying? Rights want to get preserved, relationships want to get preserved. You guys have pretty much already covered it already. I don't need to go into too much detail. I think if I do explain, like Kaz, I'm with Kaz on this one. If I say what I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying, it's not great. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to go there.
You should. I don't see the problem in being able to express confusion over something that's been planned, like what has happened with the Queen. There's no disrespect in terms of what anyone's saying here, and there's no disrespect in questioning why. There's a question mark around, well, if there's a game playing on London day before, then this one's cancelled and this one is. It kind of feels like a failure in logistics. From the moment that it wasn't forced upon any sporting body to close all sporting events, and they were given a choice, then in that moment, when they weren't forcibly shut, then you're thinking, okay, there must be logistics and infrastructure around this, or common sense in how we can have this go on. So you either or, as Terry said, go behind closed doors or bring in the army or something like that. That's by raising a question to why some games are playing, some aren't, and then there's question marks over, well, are some fans more feisty than others? Is a category A fixture, You know, I think these questions, you can ask these questions, and you shouldn't have to expect people to be like, well, don't question anything because it's the monarchy or the Queen's side. No one's being disrespectful either way. I think clear transparency in how this is going to move on should be allowed, because also we're in a very weird moment for football where we also have a World Cup in the middle. We've got a load of cram fixtures, and everyone's got question marks over what's going to happen. So what has happened with the Queen is not something that is unusual. It was going to happen, so you've got to have a plan in place.
Man United played Chelsea in the FA Cup final in London on the same day that Harry and Meghan got married. So you've had a royal wedding, which, by the way, will attracted. The numbers might be, but millions of people into London to watch that and be in the city. You had the football on, and on that day, there would have been there would have been concerts going on. There would have been comedy shows. There'd have been events. There'd have been weddings. There'd have been all sorts of hundreds of things going on in one city on the same day. So I don't really get it. Like, no disrespect, cancel the Brentford Arsenal game and put on Chelsea Liverpool. It's a better game. Like, no disrespect to Arsenal fans. Like, you're cancelling the signature game as well. It's all a little bit weird to me. We've got some super chats here that I want to go to. The first one says, I feel like Chelsea will benefit from this. We need Potter to get some familiarity with... Sorry, I've just had to put something up on my screen because it shifted up. Sorry. Familiarity with the players and start to implement his ideas. Although Liverpool are struggling, not ideal first matchup for Graham Potter, is what Hussein says there. The United Palace game should be held this weekend then, since both teams have games cancelled, and then that game doesn't require much policing. Well, that's what you could have done as well, couldn't you? You could have turned around and gone Man United versus Crystal Palace. You could have moved. I'm sure they could have done this easy. You know, we'll move it to Manchester because it's out of London, and you can put that game ahead. It's not a Category A fixture where you need more policing. There were ways around this to get games on, but instead now, Man United are going to have 2 Premier League games postponed, which are going to have to play after the World Cup in a cram situation. And you then start to move into the integrity of the actual sport and the game. It's like Man United, and I'm going to sound like I'm biased to my own club, but we're now going to be punished because we've got more supporters than everybody else. That's ridiculous. Man United now are at a disadvantage this season because we've got more fans than other people. How does that even make sense? How does that even compute as being fair? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Terry, it's not about fans. Honestly, let's be honest. If it was any derby, any major derby, or any big team facing another local rival, they would have cancelled it.
Well, they have also cancelled Brighton versus Palace as well, to be fair, which makes sense. But then just switch.
But that's down to railway strikes, by the way.
Oh, is that railway strikes? Right. Okay. There, I didn't know that. The international players and fans don't care about the UK's issues. It's narcissistic to force the whole world into mourning. But this isn't about making everybody mourn. So let's be very clear here. The Premier League are not cancelling these games and saying we're cancelling it because we all want you to be sad and watch the funeral on TV. That's, with all disrespect, Blaze. No one's asking anybody. By the way, forget international fans and non-UK based people. No one's asking the UK people to do it. Like, there's no rule that says you have to watch the funeral and you have to feel sad. Like, that's it's sort of the epitome of freedom. This isn't anything to do with asking you to mourn. This is the country not bit. This is what happens though when you watch a sport inside our country. You then start to see the disorganized nature of how we do things. Remember, one speck of snow hits our roads and nobody goes to work for 3 days. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, this country sometimes. It's the truth. It really, really is. Run it back, Turbo. I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's a joke.
I know what run it back means.
Run it back, Turbo.
Oh, is that just it? Someone's okay.
Yeah, it's like a phrase.
I didn't know that. I am old as fuck. I didn't know. But viewers, we want your thoughts. We want your feelings on this. Make sure you're smashing like buttons as well, by the way. Make sure you're subscribing. If you are just new to tuning in, people going 3 days. Now, so you don't understand it in the UK, right? We cannot handle snow. Scotland can, but England, we can't handle snow for nothing, bro. The whole country comes to a standstill. They shut schools. They shut roads. Everyone's scared to go out. Everyone panic buys toilet roll. This country sometimes is a joke.
Let me say something quick, Terry. I feel like a lot of these guys, I'm surprised there's actually games happening, because at this point, I thought they were going to just cop out and not play any games until October. I was prepared mentally for 2 weeks of no Premier League football and going straight into international break, because originally that's what we thought was going to happen. And for them to actually play some games and have some of them played and some of them not played, they're just trying to appease people, and they've seen the uproar and the anger from last weekend, and that's why they're trying to get these games played. I genuinely think a lot of us here were probably expecting 2 weeks of no football. Let's be real.
Mate, I think you could be absolutely right there. Terry, you clown, let me on this. This Egal fraud is a fraud.
Have a nice.
I'm going to say this about the top six. You've got to qualify for a certain level to become on the top 6 here. It's like the creme de la creme. That's what I'm saying, bro. And
he didn't even do it. When he wrote this, by the way, he didn't actually say anything at that point. Egal didn't actually say anything. And I saw this comment in particular come out. I'm thinking, why are you running people your mouth to Egal when he ain't said nothing?
I know. What I want to say to you, I want to say to this guy, you probably thought that sounded funny in your head, didn't you? You probably thought this is going to bang, bruv. This is going to look good. And all you've done is made your dad wish he pulled out. There we go. Anyway, England's an embarrassment. Sometimes we are. Sometimes we're great. Other times, not so much. Football. What does it say? Football stop. Okay, I'm not reading that one out, but there we go. Turbo is a multi-platinum producer and Grammy winner, I believe. That's his producer tag. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not au fait on that kind of thing. But there we go. Speaking of the games this week, though. Graham Potter's first match. Champions League, never been in the Champions League. It's his first game. I haven't spoke to Egal since the sacking, really, and I'm really intrigued to get your take on this. Graham Potter's first game. Do you feel like he's going to do a good job at Chelsea, or do you feel as though this is going to be? I mean, I'm seeing people say this is David Moyes 2.0. I've seen others go on like this is going to be the start of something fantastic. What's your take on this, and how do you think he's going to do in his first game this week?
We're not going to see any change in his first game. It's gonna be very similar to Thomas Tuchel. He's coming in. He's gonna have to manage the team until he can get some time to train with them, similar to Arteta. This is realistically, he's lucky that the Liverpool game called off because he'll at least get some training with these guys. But until he trains with them and has some coaching on the pitch, off the pitch in training, you're not going to see him actually instill anything. You're not going to see major changes. You're not going to see anything different from what Thomas Tuchel was doing until he gets adequate time with these players. So anyone to expect anything in the first game, that's ridiculous.
You reckon he goes to back four eventually?
No, he's going to stick with the back three. You're going to see him play the exact same system for the rest of the year. Genuinely, he's going to be very similar to Thomas Tuchel for the rest of the year. The only difference is you're going to see certain players being a little bit more aggressive in their attack, maybe a little bit more passing. But realistically, Thomas Tuchel and Thomas Tuchel might be considered a little bit more pragmatic, but stylistically they play very similar. It's just because he's at Brighton, we consider it a little bit more free-flowing and a little bit more attacking.
Okay.
Graham Potter and Thomas Tuchel, the same style, Kaz. What you saying?
Nah, it's not the same style. It might be the same formations, but not the same style. I don't think Potter's. I doubt he's afraid to go to a back four, but I think to suit what he knows Cucurella very well, knows how to utilize him very well. He's got Chilwell, he's got Reece James. If you're thinking about the lack of decent enough wingers, except for Sterling, of course, then he probably would go for a similar kind of team. I don't see why not, but if I was him, I would definitely switch to a back four. I don't think any great successful side over the years of football ever really played a back three and went on to win loads and loads and loads consecutively. I think he probably sees himself winning or staying at Chelsea for a long time. I feel the lack of midfielders needs a bit more help than the defense needs a little bit more help. If anything, like decent enough midfielders that can stay fit. But I reckon he stays with a back three for now, and probably a similar team for now as well. I reckon he uses Broja a lot more than he does Aubameyang potentially as well. Like I think this is young, hungry striker willing to get in behind, feed off Sterling. Like Graham Potter's going to play some good football at the end of the day, and it's not going to be defensive football, is it?
No, but
why won't he be defensive? Why won't he be defensive?
They don't have the personnel right now to change to a back four.
Why won't he be
They
defensive?
They do have the personnel to change to a back four. They do. You remember they got Kovacic who's fit now. They got to destroy it. And I get it. We ain't seen him yet in Zakaria, so they got that sort of option. He's got a playmaker in Jorginho. He can have runners behind. Depends how he wants to utilize it. They've got Koulibaly, Fofana, Reece James, Chilwell, or Cucurella to play in the back four. Of course, they have the personnel. They got Mount. They can play high. They got Havertz. They can play in attacking mid his actual position. They got a Broja and a Aubameyang. They got a Sterling. I get the weak link is pretty much right wing. They got all the types. He's got all the types of personnel to play whatever system he sees fit. Koulibaly can play in a back three or a back four, but it just depends really. I'd rather see Koulibaly in a back four where I feel like he's probably more comfortable than being used as an out wide centre back.
My thing is I don't know how Graham Potter gets the goals out of the team. I don't know how they're going to score goals.
We said the same thing about Brighton though.
I said not really. Yeah, I think Sterling's obviously got goals in him. Aubameyang, I mean, you say Aubameyang's got goals in him, you can get the right play style out of him. But at the end of the day, Chelsea's style of football, obviously under Thomas Tuchel, was way too defensive for the quality of their team. I think especially individually. You always look at those individuals, because you name the individuals. These guys I personally think Chelsea are way too good to be playing the style of football they play. And I think Potter, in my opinion, should be ballsy enough to go and play a back four. I think he's not going to do that. I think it's going to be a back five for the rest of the season, like you said. But I think eventually he probably needs to go to a back four to really unleash these players. I think you look at Reece James and you look at Chilwell, and these are serious wing backs. And I understand, the three at the back and, being hard to beat. But when you're spending 300 M's, not 250 M's or whatever you're spending, you should be going gung-ho. You should be going toe-to-toe with the other guys. I think it's different I know people talk about Man United spending, but Chelsea spending the same amount and being where they are, a lot closer to, the Liverpools and the Cities. Well, in fact, better than the Liverpools and maybe closer to the Cities. I don't think there's much of an excuse. Now they've got their manager. I understand they're not Potter's players, but you've got enough tools there to do something. Now and later, in my opinion, because they've clearly shown that they're probably going to back him in January, maybe next summer as well. On top of the quality they've already got, I don't think there's many excuses. I don't think this guy needs as much better than
For what? You're not making the change to Graham Potter with the image to expect to win major trophies now. You're doing
No,
it
no, no,
for
of course not.
longevity. You're doing it to expect things for the future. You're building for the future. You're trying to build a project under his picture. So this whole season, they're probably writing it off. They're just basically saying this whole season,
this ain't no free hit. This whole
season for Chelsea is not even a negative. They're backing this manager. They're going to see which players suit his style. They're going to see which players he is okay with, which players fit what he wants to do going forward. And then they're going to try to shift out players in the summer or in the January window that he doesn't seem fit. So this whole season for Chelsea, now that they've brought in a new manager, it's basically starting from scratch, and they're behind everybody else.
I don't know if you can call it a free hit after 300 million spent.
What are their expectations? Their expectations are top four.
300 M's.
Bro, what are their expectations? They sacked Thomas Tuchel. They brought in a new manager. They're gonna start from the beginning. Of course, they're gonna try to win whatever they can. But realistically, if they finish the season with no Champions League, no league, no domestic cups, and a top four, they're happy. And if they don't get top four, and if they don't get
I disagree.
One second, let me finish, and then you can speak. And and it's not even a negative. I'm just saying I'm not putting high expectations on him. Coming into his first big job, I'm saying realistically, even if he doesn't get top four, he's not getting sacked. He got a 5-year contract.
Yeah, I get it. They're trying to go with longevity. That they're breaking their structure of short-term successful managers. But for me, that doesn't mean the expectation changes. You know what I mean? The resources at Chelsea always provide you with the resources.
I've got to disagree though. You know what I have to say on that though, once and Egal as well, is that we keep going back to the Chelsea that we all know in the Roman Abramovich Chelsea. We don't know how Todd Bowley likes to do things. Do you get what I'm saying? So we can't expect
300 M's in his first window.
But he spent. The thing is, Todd B can kind of just say, is the fact is they spent 300 M's. He's new to the whole, obviously the football game and everything alongside it. Yes, he spent 300 M's of what Tuchel wanted, and it didn't work out, and he has to take down a chin. But I just don't think that a good manager can bring the best out of these players. It's not like they're rubbish players either. Yeah, some of them might not fit what he wants.
They know what they want.
But he made the most out of a Brighton squad that wasn't firing last season, still finished somewhere. So he's used to a team that's not really scoring, and then come to this season, he's had another season like with them, and now they're looking like they're creating chances. His positional game is very good. His positional and tactics are very good. I think he'll be a success at Chelsea, and I don't want him to be, but I just
want to say this. I think there's some misconceptions. I think one thing I want to say to Egal, then I'm going to explain it. I think because it took your manager nearly 3 years to really implement his style, it's almost that you're projecting a little bit. Like, no, he won't make an impact straight away. You'll barely see a difference. It takes time because it took your manager time. And you know what happens if Potter gets his style being produced very quickly. You know people will use that as a stick to beat your manager with. 100%. I know that's coming.
That's not where I'm coming from, though.
I believe that's where it is. But let me explain why. So first, I'll say 2 names: Eddie Howe, Patrick Vieira. They got their teams playing their brand of football very quickly. Now, you can argue Patrick Vieira had a pre-season. Eddie Howe didn't, and it was 2 or 3 games into his Newcastle reign, and the way he played football compared to who was the manager he replaced? Steve Bruce. The football that him and Steve Bruce played with practically the same squads was night and day. So you can make an impact very quickly. You're right, though, that they shouldn't be expected. Graham Potter shouldn't be expected to go from where they are right now to winning the Premier League this year because you're competing against Man City. You've got to get your feet under the table. But I think there will be an improvement. In terms of how does he score goals with this squad, Brighton have one of the best XGs in the country. They create some of the best goal-scoring opportunities in the Premier League, but they didn't have goal scorers. Right now, they have 2 attackers who between them in their career have 457 goals. How many of our how many goals, if you combine up all Arsenal's attacking players' goals and all of Man United, but barring Ronaldo, because he's obviously past it now, we don't have that. Our clubs don't have that. Yeah, with Ronaldo, you take Ronaldo out, we know he's far better. These guys are still in their prime to a degree in comparison to Ronaldo. These guys have 457 goals between them. They've got goal scorers in their team. If he can get that, and by the way, would you agree, Egal? Would you agree that pound for pound, the players in the Chelsea squad are better than the players in the Brighton squad?
Yeah,
Easily.
100%.
So if he can get that group fairly quickly playing his style of football and creating the opportunities, why can't he do that with the Chelsea team? I understand there isn't loads of time to run these patterns and everything else, but you do realize a lot of these players are experienced. They understand football, and they're not going to be being taught things by Graham Potter, which are going to be, oh my God, I've just learned how to light a fire. Like, football's a fairly basic sport. Like, people act like it takes an eternity to implement something. I don't think it will. Will he get it week in, week out, the very best Chelsea that he can ever manage to produce year one? No. And you'll see my predictions as to why I think that later. But to think that he's just going to carry on like Tuchel was, being fairly negative, not breaking teams down, I think that's wishful thinking as opposed to what you really believe. I think most fans are a little bit worried, a little bit scared, a little bit, oh, what if this goes wrong?
It's not even about that, Terry. For me, it's strictly the fact that he's taking over a team in the middle of the season. He unlike what's it called, Eddie Howe at Newcastle, where he had the January window to bring players in. He's predominantly going to have to deal with the players that he already has. They're already used to playing a back three. I think their squad is imbalanced to the level where they if they go to a back four, it hinders them because a lot of their best players are defenders and wing backs that helps them create a lot of their chances. So changing it is detrimental to their style. And honestly, this is not even banter or anything. I'm not even trying to take away from him. I think he's actually a decent coach. I'm just saying I don't put him on the same level as Thomas Tuchel and some of these other guys where I'm going to have to expect a Champions League or a league or something from these guys. I think expectations are quite low, and that's why they gave him a 5-year deal to give him time to embed his system, take his time. And it's not an insult to the Chelsea players or anything at all. I just think he's going to stick with what's been working and make minor tweaks instead of overhauling everything.
That's not a bad show.
I get that. I do get that. But again, Tuchel, if you take Tuchel's system and you score on average 1.5, 2 goals more per game, it's a fucking brilliant system, isn't it? like it's amazing.
Yes.
So, like,
easier said than done, though, Terry.
Players weren't happy.
but
The
I
players
don't-
weren't-
I
the
don't
players
think-
weren't-
For a manager that's inferior.
But why is it? But why? Yeah, okay, maybe he is. But everybody needs to be given the opportunity and the chance.
Yeah.
Take Jurgen Klopp. If Dortmund didn't give him a chance, and then if Liverpool didn't give him a chance, he wouldn't be Jurgen Klopp. If Arsene Wenger never got the opportunity at Arsenal, he wouldn't be Arsene Wenger.
But there's not a lot of Arsene Wenger's Klopps or you know what I mean. There's not a lot of these guys. These guys don't come around very often. So I'm not saying. I think Tuchel will actually be successful. I think Potter will be successful. By the way, I'm not saying he's not going to be successful, but I think that one, it just shouldn't be a free hit, and two, I understand that it's not completely played on football. It's so easy to say that, yeah, if you can get these men firing, then Chelsea are a mad force. But at the end of the day, I see him as an inferior manager to Thomas Tuchel, and I don't think it's as easy as people say. I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Everyone.
Yeah. So go on,
I was gonna say every manager has their time when they come and shine and show everyone what they can do. Just like Klopp before he joined Dortmund, just like any manager before any. And I thought, you know what's mad? I think because he's a British manager, it makes me want him to be successful as well more than the average manager. Just even though he is Chelsea and I'm a Man United fan, I do want him to be successful just because I want to see England eventually employ that man when he gets sacked in the future. But long story short, it's just I just feel like with like we've seen Chelsea under Tuchel, they can play football and good football. They can pass, they can do a bit of everything. To be fair, the imbalance. I hear what you're saying, Egal. You pretty much hit the nail on the head. But I reckon this season for me, he doesn't have to win anything. He's got a free hit to implement what he wants, but it obviously shows some progression within the team, and that's it. Just like Man United, just want to see progression within the team and see where you're heading.
I think the term free hit is quite a controversial one in football in the sense of they've already said if he doesn't make top four, he isn't going to be sacked straight away, and that's the most fearful thing in this. Because I feel with Chelsea in the past, that doesn't mean you can be unsuccessful. Because if we get to the end of the season and they're sitting ninth, the football's got worse, the players hate him, they will sack him. Like this, you won't be sacked no matter what. He's a little bit of a nonsense. Like you still have to improve the team. But where Chelsea have gone wrong in the past is when managers have not been quite as good as they expected, but things are still progressing, they've sacked them. The way they got rid of Carlo Ancelotti, as an example, was one of the biggest L's they ever made. Getting rid of Jose after like the first year in the three, just under 3 that he'd been there, that he wasn't quite top of the league. By the way, Chelsea was still the second best team in the league. They got rid of him. The guy a year and a half later or so fucking does a treble. Like, this is the thing. Like, I think sticking with a manager, as long as the team's improving, as long as they're bought into his ideas, is something different from Chelsea. And if you create that continuity and spend the money. This is why I'm scared of what Chelsea are doing right now, because they're behaving in a way that the great clubs in 2022 behave. You have a club plan above a manager's plan. You have a club plan that goes beyond that head coach. That head coach has got to buy into it. And of course, you can take ideas from them. You can learn from them the same way that City and Liverpool have learned from Pep and Klopp respectively. But with Chelsea looking to spend the way they're looking to spend, expanding the stadium, they're also looking to bring one of the best directors of football in the world before the January transfer window. They're looking at the likes of Edwards. They're looking at Campos, has only just gone to PSG, and according to some credible reports, they are willing to pay him whatever it takes to get him out of there. They want to do things properly, and I think people are judging Chelsea on short-term actions as opposed to looking at the long-term plan. And they're a little bit like the ugly duckling right now. It may not look exactly how you want it to, and people are laughing, but I think they could end up having the last laugh here, because they're doing some serious stuff. I want to do some super chats, and I want to ask you about the benefit of that, to go back to the other super chat earlier. But Spurs are still unbeaten, so cry more, Woolwich Arsenal losers is what I'm Not the Real Buffy from BTVS has got to say.
Where's your trophy?
Look at that little clap.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That Buffy the Vampire.
I've missed all the chat.
Yeah,
but
that's
no Spurs slander here, please.
Well, you're gonna like my new predictions that's coming. We're redoing Prem predictions later.
Okay, wicked.
If Potter was planned weeks ago, why did Bowley sign players 30 plus in an already aging team? Potter likes to have a young team which he can develop. There's a real simple answer to that. You still sometimes need to fill holes, and I get that a manager has an ideology, but this is the thing with Chelsea, they also want to be in the Champions League. And Aubameyang, it was said from day one, from all the credible journalists, they've always said he was a stopgap. So you still sign stopgaps every now and then. And Graham Potter does like young up-and-coming players, but he also bought Danny Welbeck, who's an aging, injury-prone player. So, like, my point is, you never always get exactly what your tastes are as manager. Hi, Colleen. You look stunning again. Terry looking sharp as well, bro. Thank you. Kaz, you got the whitest teeth ever. Looking good. And Ajax stomps Liverpool tomorrow. We'll get onto that later, and we hope so. We hope that Liverpool get embarrassed again.
Thank you for that chat. That was actually a very nice message, man. Very nice message.
Well, Mons doesn't think so, but there we go. Big up the panel and all the different opinions. Let's see how it actually unfolds, is what Chelsea OG's got to say. Thank you very much, my friend. Chelsea will finish below Arsenal this season. Hashtag Todd B is what's been said there. We'll give you a proper Todd B.
Todd B. Where did that come from? Wait, did he do another one?
Yeah. It's a new one.
Oh,
it's a new one. I wanted to ask you all the question that one of the super chatters put in earlier on today, and that is, who benefits the most, Chelsea or Liverpool, from the game being cancelled this week? What are you saying? What are you saying, Colleen? Is this better for Chelsea or better for Liverpool?
I mean, it's better for Liverpool. Come on. I back Potter, even with the squad that he's got, not even trained with them. With the state of that midfield, honestly, you've done Scousers a favour there, because I'm struggling to see them even win a game, period. So, Mons, are you okay there, my love?
Yeah, it's just a nice taste in my mouth. It's just...
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Right.
So what you're trying to say is that the monarchy are trying to build a relationship with the Scousers?
Basically, they're trying to get them to like them again.
Okay.
I'm sure Potter would like to go out there straight away, because he's probably itching to see what these guys are made of under his instructions, seeing them get into a game and see where he needs to tweak things outside of someone who's just watching. But I know they always, the saying always goes, once you lose a game, you just want to get back out there, right? But for Liverpool, it's technical.
I've got a question. So Graham Potter, I guess longevity-wise, good manager, good choice. He's not on the level of Thomas Tuchel right now, and he doesn't have time to actually implement his style that quickly. So ideally, this is the same Chelsea that we've seen lose to Dynamo Zagreb, right? Yeah,
that's correct.
And be as inconsistent as Liverpool, right?
I wouldn't say as inconsistent as Liverpool.
I'd definitely say it's as inconsistent.
In my opinion, Liverpool are what I think Liverpool like.
You have a Liverpool agenda though, so I have to have that little bit of sort of that. There's an agenda there. But listen, I'm not here to back Liverpool. This is not what I'm here for today. But I'm just saying that I understand that I think Liverpool are benefiting slightly more. But let's not act like Chelsea ain't.
Is that not what I just said?
Chelsea are dead food right now, and the manager doesn't have a clue of what he needs to do at this moment in time. It's going to be the same Chelsea right now. It's going to be the same Chelsea.
We agree.
The only thing is that we're just a little bit worse. But you're going on like the gap is massive. The gap is massive.
I didn't say the gap was massive. I feel like your heart's hurting a little bit there. Your heart's hurting a little bit.
What do you mean by the same Chelsea?
I agree. Huh?
Like, what does he mean by the same Chelseas and like the type of players that they have?
That's the exact same. You're gonna get the exact same Chelsea. There's gonna be no
Not
change.
really. Jorginho used to play great ball at Napoli. Koulibaly as well. Sterling just come from City. Cucurella just from Brighton. Like, I feel like a lot of these players.
Right now,
I know, but some of these players, Kovacic is Kovacic. Some of these players know how to play ball. Aubameyang was just at Barcelona. Like, some of these players do know how to play the way.
They struggled every single game this season, just like Liverpool.
Just like Liverpool as well. Yeah, I know. It's all right, man.
You know what? It doesn't have to be a negative.
United.
It doesn't have to be a negative. The way it's been spun, it's benefiting Liverpool. It's benefiting both teams. But to me,
both of them.
Better than what's going on at Spurs.
But the team that is going to benefit the most, I think it is Chelsea, because Chelsea just got a new manager. No matter what, those players were going to come back from injury for Liverpool. So Chelsea actually get the benefit on the training pitch, where they actually get to show, he actually gets to show the players what he wants them to do, how he wants them to work, and he gets more time to train with them. And as much as we rate other managers, Graham Potter, he needs that time to get the familiarity with these players, where no matter what, those players were going to come back into Klopp's team once they're fully fit, regardless.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I just think Colleen's a bit hot that we get some rest and we get some players come back from the injury. That's fine, though.
We both agreed. It's just that you just didn't like how harsh I was around it. But ultimately,
not even.
Ultimately, we agreed. We agreed. So, you know.
I think it's Chelsea.
You think Chelsea because they get more time to train and implement a style and system and
familiarity, all that stuff. Yeah, and also don't forget we're gonna see players actually happy, because Thomas Tuchel fell out with a bunch of these players that he wanted to sell and that he didn't like, or they didn't like him, and the relationship factor that we keep hearing. This is a big issue. That was at Chelsea that people don't really speak about. So with all the information that I've heard recently, it seems like these guys are going to be happy and excited to play their next game.
I get that. Sarim here says, Terry Habibi, why are you calling me my love, my baby? What was that about, bro? I know a little bit of Arabic, my friend. My dusted club got 2 weeks of football cancelled. The biggest club in the country for a reason. Forever in our shadow. I think, you know what, I get the implementation of style, but I do think they've been given a touch here, Liverpool. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I was being flippant earlier, but Liverpool are so bad at the minute. They're the greatest centre-back in the history of the Premier League. Looks like Titus Bramble. You've got Trent, who's been fully exposed defensively now because he isn't doing as much on the attack, because Mo Salah's being used as the creator on the right. And we all said this would happen as soon as Liverpool's system changed and you took away the main asset from Trent, him being the chief creator, and you gave that role to someone else. So Mo Salah's got it this year. By the way, Mo Salah's created more chances in the Premier League this year than any other player. Defensive mishaps are plentiful. Honestly, watching him and Van Dijk at the moment is like watching Laurel and Hardy or the Chuckle brothers. So it's mad. The drop-off of Liverpool is crazy in the sense of last year they nearly won a quad. This year, honestly, they honestly look worse than Man United, which is saying a lot at the moment. And I'm sure you will.
Did you just say Titus Bramble?
A little bit Titus Bramble. You know what I mean? A little bit Titus Bramble-esque. It's crazy. Like, I don't know I can't quite put my finger on it, but yeah, in Liverpool, I've got to touch not having to play this game, and they need to be on point tomorrow, because again, they defend like that against Ajax. Ajax will score. So whether Ajax can keep them out or not, but
there's still Liverpool fans who think there's nothing wrong with the system and there's nothing wrong with the midfield. But I'll leave it there.
And bruv, I'm not even digging Liverpool out. I'm just speaking the truth. Terry, that's the midget Martinez. Listen, Sean, my friend, I know you're a Liverpool fan. You're a long-time viewer at the Terrace, right? Van Dijk has had a better career and overall is a better defender than Lisandro Martinez. But based on this season, my guy might be a hobbit, but Jesus Christ, David versus Goliath, bruv. He's done your giant big time, like in terms of how good he's been. So it's not even banter at this point, Sean, my friend. Mane is loving life in Bayern. Of course he is. He absolutely is.
He?
I'd be loving life in that banter league.
Oh, he's scoring, yeah.
Are doing bad, aren't they?
No, he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
I think he's doing
bad.
I don't focus on my exes, you know.
An X is an X for a reason.
Say that without the tear in your eye.
Yeah, you hear that bitterness in there. You hear that? I don't care that she's getting better D. It's okay.
Fine, he's crap anyway. It's fine. Don't like him.
Now Bayern are third in the Bundesliga.
Isn't it mad how things can turn around so quickly? Like, do you know what I mean? I remember months in the studio a few months ago. My quad, my German manager, we're gonna win. Not even that. I'm winning the quad is what you said.
Terry, you were saying we're gonna do it as you were with me. Terry, I had you on board.
I did, but listen. Just if I get a Liverpool prediction wrong, it don't hurt me.
Yeah, I had you on board. You bought my Jurgen quad stocks. You purchased the
No, I don't think I ever said you were going to do the quad. I think I said you were going to win the league and lose the Champions League final. I think.
You purchased my Jurgen quad stocks.
Just got to take what Eric Ten Hag said, man. All eras come to an end eventually, man. Football goes into a circle, just like people with making sure people actually like this video, man. As 3,000 people, not 500 likes. Disgraceful. You are disgraceful. Just like no football this weekend. No football this weekend. Disgraceful. Just like the people not liking this video. It's horrible. You guys are nasty.
Don't worry. Coming soon.
I hear that. We've got a super chat here that says that we all know time for a manager works best as seen for other clubs' teams. Egal has this one rule for his manager, no experience, and another rule for everyone else. Potter is a good manager. I believe he will do well, is what Maria Williams says. But Arsenal fans have been doing that all year. Like, Man United are not allowed to rebuild, but they were. Like, Graham Potter's not experienced, so he can't be successful. And I sometimes watch not all Gooners, some Gooners.
They were cussed throughout their rebuild, though, Terry. The Arsenal fans did get cussed out throughout their rebuild.
No, but that isn't the point, though, is it? If you're someone that, it isn't the point.
But I'm giving Potter time. I'm actually saying
I get that. I'm not calling you. I'm saying I've seen a lot of Gooners like no experience. Why would you hire a manager with no experience? The same guys are like full on.
I've seen that.
Stands. That's what I'm just one of these people where I just don't do the hypocrisy banter. It's like, but you can't. I don't know why. It just doesn't resonate with me. I just find it weird. Like, United aren't allowed to rebuild, but you are. It's different for us. Why? Now you got to admit we're a bigger club, and they put themselves in. It's weird. Just say United are allowed to rebuild. Play the long game, but that's just me. How are you, Patrick, by the way, me old mate? How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just soaking it all up and just listening to what you guys have got to say. And I don't know. The Chelsea stuff where you're saying that you're scared of Chelsea is a bit weird to me. They haven't been good all season. So I don't know what you're really scared of. But I think Potter...
Did you watch the video, though?
No, I didn't.
No,
but,
I explained it.
I see the title and I was like, that's a bit weird.
You've got to look beyond the headline. It's not about this season. You'll see later with my prediction. It's about the medium to long term with what they're trying to build at the football club with the money that they've got. And if they build a structure right with the money that they've got and they have the right director of football in there, everybody should be fearful of Chelsea.
These are a lot of big ifs because Chelsea don't stick to this. I know they give him Potter a 5-year deal, but at the end of the day, if the results ain't going well, he will get chopped. That's the bottom line. He's not going to get the time that everyone believes he's going to get. He's a good manager. I'm annoyed that it's a weird one because obviously as a Tottenham fan, I really like Graham Potter and I really wanted him to be the next England manager. I really want a good English manager managing the players that can play good football and knows the Premier League and knows his players. So him being at Chelsea, I want him to do well because he's a good manager and I want to see English managers succeed. But now he's gone to Chelsea, obviously, I don't want him to do well. So I'm a bit torn. So I would have preferred he didn't go there, but obviously you can't not take that job coming from where he's come from. He's done a really good job. As you know, his home record at Chelsea isn't good. At Brighton, the last 2 years, he's won like 4 and 5 out of 19. He's not going to get that same grace at Chelsea. Yeah, he's got better players, but if he doesn't step up to the task straight away, he will get chopped. This is football. We know there's no sentiment involved. They just fired a guy that's won them pretty much, the Champions League. Got to 2 finals last year. Was very unlucky. They should have won both of those finals, in my opinion. So, yeah, all of this, you're going to get time, you're this and that. At the end of the day, with the money they spent, he'll get chopped if he's not doing well. That is the bottom line. This is football.
I agree.
I saw he rejected Spurs.
He did in the summer. Most people did that in the summer before last. I think Brendan Rodgers did.
That's good for him for doing that. At the end of the day, where we were right then, like a manager of his stature, he shouldn't have come to Spurs right then. We were rejected for a reason. I'm not one of these guys that is going to get angry at the truth. At the end of the day, where we were right then wasn't a good place. So it's not a slight at us.
I think what you're saying about Chelsea though is true. But I think you're judging Chelsea based on the way Roman run it, as opposed to what Todd Bowley and his group are trying to build. And on top of that, it's like That's like saying, well, none of us should ever put any faith or respect in Tottenham because you don't win anything. So nothing you do, Conte spend money is going to change it based on history.
Not really. It's two totally different things.
No, it's
and
not.
to be fair,
Yes,
people
it's
don't
not.
people don't put faith in us, but it's all good. At the end of the day, what we're doing right now speaks for itself. I don't need you lot to be talking us up. At the end of the day, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I got an interesting
Please remember that we ain't lost the game this season. Do you know what I mean?
Patrick,
please remember that. Like you lot have got to chill. Sorry, say that again. Say that again. We're not in August. We're in September, bro.
I think Arsenal and Liverpool suffered defeats of under to who.
Patrick, I got an interesting question for you. Who lasts longer in their job? Thomas Tuchel? Sorry, not Thomas Tuchel. Graham Potter or your man Antonio Conte? Who lasts longer in their job?
Who cares? Like, what's that got to do with anything? Like,
No. I'm asking.
It's a weird question. Like, it's a weird question. It's a very weird question.
Let me tell you why I'm asking. Because you're backing your manager. You're thinking he's going to be successful. So how long do you think he's going to last to actually build a successful team? Because Chelsea look like they're going to be building something.
Answer the question.
Who cares? That's my answer. Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? At the end of the day, Conte's been given what? Conte's got a year left on his contract. Graham Potter's got 5. So realistically, Potter should last longer. But this is football. Like I said, if Potter's not getting results, he will get chopped. The same way all of you guys that wanted, Conte will be out before the season's gone. Conte's going to walk. Conte's still here. There's no murmurs of Conte leaving. Conte's doing well. He's happy. Let's just crack on and see what happens.
Yeah, the difference is
there's no
Conte can get chopped. Chelsea would axe Potter, but Conte would axe Spurs. That's the difference.
You don't love
Yeah, Conte's going to sack Tottenham. That's what he's going to do.
It's all fun and jokes.
I love you, Patrick, man.
Sorry. One at a time. Sorry.
You love to force a negative Spurs agenda, but there's no negativity here. We're doing all right. Do you know what I mean? Yes, the football hasn't been fantastic. We haven't lost the game. We're still playing. We've got gears to go. You can see that we're a serious team, or hard to beat, hard to break down. And yeah, like there's no negativity here. You lot can talk all your talk and this and that. At the end of the day, we're all right. Do you know what I mean? I'm cool. I'm good. I'm good over there.
Just quickly, pick you up. Big up Tottenham, what they're doing. I just feel like some of you guys are a little bit like, oh, don't even speak negatively. Don't even speak into existence about our manager leaving early. Like, I feel like you guys are a little bit like,
no. I'm a bit.
It's like you guys don't even want to hear a possibility of any negative.
But we heard that all last year. Conte's gonna walk. Conte's gonna go. Conte will be gone by the summer, and he's still here. So we're cool, isn't it?
It's to have doubts. Like there's no reason for people.
No. It's over.
No reason for us to believe in you. So it's okay for us to have doubts as rival fans.
What do you mean no reason for us to believe in you? No one believed we would get 4th last year, right? All of you lot were talking here saying, Arsenal definitely, and
I said you get 4th.
No, Terry, you were talking also. No, Terry. No, Terry, stop this. Terry, at the beginning, you said we was going to get 4th when he first got appointed. But then the whole of the season, you were saying that Arsenal definitely going to get 4th. You even did a video after they lost to Brighton. I remember you did a video coming out saying Arsenal.
And that was based on the fact I didn't think Arsenal would collapse. But my initial pick was you guys would get it. It was only when Arsenal... It was guaranteed for Arsenal with that gap they had. There's no reason they should have thrown that away when they lost those 4 games on the bounce. It was like, oh my God, it's done now. But like, I thought you guys would do it. It's just that I couldn't believe they threw it away. And you guys as well. You had that weird bit where you won those early games.
Winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one.
Yeah, that's why these things change. Wayne here.
What is success for Tottenham?
Top 4.
Top 4 and a trophy. This year it has to be top 4 and a trophy.
You never won a trophy. Chelsea have a better odds of winning with ground.
You asked me a question. Don't try and mug me. You asked me a question. I answered.
So wait, Patrick. One sec, Patrick. Hey, before you all go, before this, what about Arteta? What's success for Arteta in his 3rd season?
To the rest.
Win the Europa League, get top 4. That's success.
Oh, you're saying and a trophy. So your expectations are a trophy then this season?
No, the Europa League trophy, not FA.
Yeah, no. So okay, the trophy then, the European one.
Yeah, but I guarantee you this: if Arsenal don't achieve that, people like Egal will find a way to like Nick Hancock this into. Is it Nick Hancock? Was that his name?
Come
Yeah,
on.
Nick Hancock it. You will. It'll be, but it weren't his fault. The refs did this, and Man United did that, and we had a game postponed, and this happened, and the Queen.
No. Of course. Real Madrid fall down or Liverpool fall down.
The Queen was such a big Arsenal fan, and after she passed, we just couldn't bring ourselves back together. It'll be an excuse like that from you, Egal.
Liverpool right now are second favorites to win the Europa League. By the way, just to let you know.
Liverpool. What? Where did you get that from?
That's mad. No,
I'm not even bantering. There's
Hey, Egal, I know I'm in the mud. I know.
I'm not even bantering.
What did he just say?
No, Egal. The last time I saw you in the champs, I promise you, man, were rocking ZX Fluxes. Please.
Nah.
I had a white pair of those.
All right, guys. We're gonna move on and finish these super chats here, and then we're gonna go into some more conversations. We are doing predictions a little bit late. I'm gonna put them up very quickly on the screen again. My revised predictions for the season. They're gone again. They're gone again.
Right, yeah.
Make sure you stay on board, people. Some super chats here. First one says, some of you, Anthony and Kurdish Born, coming to yours later because they're more relevant to the end of the show. Arteta is the next big thing. Man spent 400 million and has yet to finish behind Rodgers twice in the last 3 seasons. They are 12 better managers in the Premier League than him. Conte joined Spurs because he felt like doing charity work. He said that's pretty good fantasy.
That's actually quite funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Terry, let's be serious. Saying these guys are creme de la creme with these statements about Chelsea, you are deluded. So reach out to some better panelists. Let me just say this now. There are lots of great content creators out there, but typically the Terrace doesn't like to. What's the point of taking the same content creators? You make the same content elsewhere and then bringing them here to say the same things. I like my people. The Terrace community is amazing, and I know you all enjoy it as well. We are what we are. So thank you very much indeed. Very happy with my people, but thank you very much for the super chat. Spurs will win a preseason trophy next year, is what Anthony says. I like that. Terry, ask Egal who loses more this season at their homes, Spurs or Arsenal. I don't think, except City, no team is going to beat Spurs at home. So do you think who's going to lose more games at home this season, Spurs or Arsenal, Egal?
I think Spurs.
Spurs, there
really?
Yeah, Emirates. I can't lie. Arsenal look good at the Emirates, bro.
We're good at home.
But at the same time, yes. I think you both. That's a hard question to be fair.
It is a hard question.
You're right.
I'm gonna say the same. I'm gonna sit on the fence. There we go. I know we've already kind of touched on Liverpool a little bit, but I want to touch on them again.
Yes.
No, let's not. No, let's
Patrick with his first. Patrick, do you feel like Liverpool are feeling a bit of pressure tomorrow night because they have been getting battered recently, like an Ian Gill Codfish?
Are they home or away to Ajax?
Home.
Okay, that's they should be Ajax, but no. Actually, let me rewind that. Yes, previously I would have said they should be Ajax. Right now, I don't know. I can't call it because, like Monty, you'll agree, the football you lot have been playing is awful at the moment. Defensively, you're shambles. You're not really scoring many goals. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I don't. Well, we do know where it's gone wrong. Defensively, they're all over the shop. The midfield isn't creating or doing anything of any substance. And attacking-wise, Salah playing where he's playing, it's not good. Nunes, obviously, the jury's still out. Firmino's looked okay, to be fair. He's the only guy that can probably hold his head up right now. Trent, awful. Robertson, he's been getting away. He's stealing a living at the moment. He's not doing anything. Obviously, Van Dijk, Jesus Christ, what's happened to him?
We get it.
So I'm just saying, it's the thing is, I know Liverpool will bounce back at some point. They are, all jokes aside, they're too good of a team to be this bad for so long. But I just don't know when that will be. So, I mean, long may it continue. If one team falls off, it's better for all the rest of us. So, it's I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know.
We ain't even got beef, man.
I know we ain't got beef. I'm trying to be nice out here. I'm actually everything I'm saying, is legit. I'm not even trying to throw shade.
It all started when Man United beat them 2-1 at Old Trafford. I mean, Thiago and Jota are back, so that's a plus.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. That's a big plus. That's a big plus.
You know what?
But then again, when players are first rushed back, when the players are first rushed back, is it wise to throw them straight in at the deep end? Because that's obviously how reoccurring injuries.
Just James Milner instead. That's the answer to everything.
Play Milner.
You know what? Liverpool are unbeaten at home this season, though. So even though they're having a terrible season,
are they? I didn't even know that. That's actually interesting.
So you think they're gonna lose? I think that at best they draw. They don't lose this game.
At worst, they draw. You mean?
That's what I mean. At worst they draw.
Well, he said at best, so he said that's the best.
You know what I meant. Worst case scenario, they draw because their defense is leaking goals. But I feel like, is it me or is Trent carrying an injury or something? Something's wrong with
No,
him.
he just can't defend. He can't.
Yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same
Surely
thing.
he's carrying an injury or something.
He can't defend. He can't defend. He can't defend. He can't defend. He can't defend.
Terry's got
Can't
receipts.
defend.
Right? Wow.
Can't defend.
Man's got all the receipts.
I know.
What I'm saying though, I'm saying from now though, I'm here against all the top Reds that are coming and trying to protect Klopp at times like this. I'm here to gun Liverpool the same way everyone else is. However, if Liverpool get back at some point and make something of this season, I'm going to be unbearable.
You lot will though. Come on, you lot will. Like I said, you're too good of a team to.
I'm going to be unbearable. You think I was bad when I was talking?
This means nothing right now.
I'm calling your first on my hit list. You are first on my hit list. I swear to God. I swear you are first.
When are you American, bro?
I don't even know. It's you. Bro. One of my 7 personalities are coming out right now because I don't know what's going on with my team. You don't know what this is gonna do it to me right now. It's peak. Like, first of all, I haven't been hiding because everyone in the comments seems to think I've been hiding after all what's been going on with Liverpool. I've not been hiding. Go and see the content. It's there. Shameless plug. It's there. You see me shouting and screaming. But what my biggest problem is the fan base. I'm sorry. Like, it's the fan base right now because there's actually a large portion of the fans that are so deluded that they seem to think that Darwin Núñez is a good footballer. Yeah.
Like I said, the jury's still out. It's too early to judge him. I think it's too
far
to go one way.
He's a horrific footballer. I said this from the start. When he was linked to Man U, I was laughing.
That was one of my favorite. Although Man United lost out on him, that was one of my favorite moments this summer. Seeing Liverpool fans banter Man United about getting him, and then they hijack the deal. It's one of those reasons why sometimes I just say fairly nice things about players that my club's linked to because you never know the direction that it's going to go in. And when you got to do that stream when you just sign that player for record-breaking fees.
It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know, man. I think even as I think Patrick hit the nail on the head with some of the things he said. The fact that Salah is now a touchline winger is the craziest. Mad. One of the most dangerous goal threats in the last 5 years of the Premier League.
That's your manager, man.
Made into your creator to accommodate for a guy that is supposed to be known for his finishing, but is a 50-50 finisher and he sucks at everything else.
Monk, so I'm going to ask you a question. When does the blame start laying on Jurgen? Because obviously right now.
Yesterday, last week. I've been in the car park for Norbert, bro. Norbert. I've been in the car park, G. I swear down. This guy it's getting me mad. The certain decisions he's been making, and again, it's like the fan base are infected with how he speaks sometimes. And I understand, listen, Klopp, I love him to bits, innit? But you got to call out a man when he's making dumb decisions. When he's forced James Milner to play, let the man, just leave him alone. James Milner it's not good enough. People, Liverpool fans, some of them were celebrating Henderson's injury. You were all wrong because now James Milner's going to be playing. James Milner starts tomorrow. I promise you he starts tomorrow. You think after the new guy they got in starts, he plays? No, he doesn't. Why does put it this way? You're 3-0 down. The first substitute you make is a centre-back. Then you sub on your most injury-prone player in the 75th minute when man are walking and the game's done. How dare you? I'm thinking, wait, the game's done. Why are you subbing on your most important midfielder for him to possibly get injured again? Because Thiago's flying into tackles. Why? Why?
Mons,
you want to sub on Jota, man. Them know my opinions on Jota. You want to sub on Jota and Darwin Núñez. I promise you, I had to laugh. There's more technique in Gineppo's got more technique than Jota and Darwin Núñez. If we're talking technical ability, I'm not gonna lie.
Gineppo's all right, you know. I like Gineppo.
That's a disrespect to Gineppo. That is
exactly. It is. Gineppo's actually all right. He's a good player.
He's been playing left back.
I'm pretty sure I saw Darwin Núñez sit a man down and then dribble back into him. I'm looking at some of the things I'm seeing. I can't quite believe it. I'm tired of. I tried to defend Joe Gomez because.
Where'd you get that pick from?
Oh man, it's looking like my old English teacher. It's mad. It's mad, bro. I'm getting banned everywhere I go. But at the end of the day, listen. Seriously speaking, objectively speaking, I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
So what do you expect from tomorrow? What do you expect from the Champions League game? Based off everything you've just said right now, and we've got Thiago coming back, you've got Jota coming back, right? Robertson's out, and you have to play with Trent and Van Dijk, unfortunately. So what are you expecting?
We just play
what are you from that rant, from what you've just said, that mini meltdown you just had? What are you expecting versus Ajax? Because right now, from what you said, it doesn't seem like there's. Would you be mad if you lost? Because that's from what I'm getting. That's kind of where
I'm mad when we lose all the time. I want to win because I'm tired of getting bantered every day. But I kind of don't want the cracks to be papered over. I think with Liverpool and with Klopp, you gotta slap him at you you gotta feel the pain before something changes. Like no one sees it and tries to prevent it. It's not clean. It's never prevention is better than cure. Like catastrophic events have to happen. Huh?
Are you expecting a win or not?
No, I think we're gonna draw the game. I think it's got 1-1 written all over it.
Yeah.
And are you content with that, based on the current state of
affairs? I'm content.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Well,
I'm playing on a Tuesday night, so I'm just enjoying right now.
Hey.
I'm enjoying the Tuesday night train.
Oh, what a night!
Hey, but not for long, my friend. You'll be back down on Thursday very soon.
No, you Thursday, man. You're not in the club. You don't get to do that.
Hey,
guys, I need to say one at a time. When everyone starts talking, the viewers can't hear. So just try and wait for people to finish and then come in if we best we can, please, people. I want to do some super chats here that have come through. Milner is a better right back than Trent this year, is what Grammy's got to say. If Liverpool struggles continue with all the injuries and players back, would you be Klopp out, Mons?
Patrick, I know you for the questions.
That delay tells me yes.
That's a mad thing. What if it just by January we got all the players back and we're sitting in like 9th or 10th. By January, he's got to go, fam. I can't cap. He's got to go, bro. Like 10th by January. 10th by January. I don't know. I think if it's that bad, by January, I think I would I don't know. I can't say the words. I'm struggling to say the words. I think I can't say fire him. If we finish the season and it fails, I'll strongly consider it at the end of the season. I think he's earned one bad season at Liverpool. He's earned one bad season in it, I'd say.
I mean, I don't think he can be. It can be the only time I think you should ever be Jurgen Klopp out is if the dressing room has gone and it's because this is the thing with Liverpool and with City. No matter how well run your club is, when Klopp and Pep leave, you won't be as good because if you've got the best manager or top 1-2 managers in the world, you always go backwards after losing them. It's impossible to move forward.
Yeah, there's going to be a regression.
So I think there would need to be very, very careful in relation to that. Viewers, what do you think? Make sure you're smashing like and share buttons for us today, please. It means a great deal to us if you do. Now, obviously, I am going to come to more super chats later, so we haven't forgotten about them. Relax, please, people. I want to speak about predictions. We did predictions at the start of the season, but it's always important to come back to predictions later because we see teams play, the transfer window closes, and we know what's really going on. So I'm going to reveal to you all now live on the air my new top six. My new top six after everything being revised. Remember, my original prediction was Liverpool first, City second, Arsenal third, Chelsea fourth, Tottenham 5th, Man United 7th. So that has now been revised. So in 6th place, I have put Manchester United. They are currently in 6th. That's where I think they will finish this season. In 5th place, and now this is going to go against what I said a little bit earlier to do with Chelsea, but it's why you've got to watch the video rather than read the headline, Patrick. is I'm going to go with Chelsea in 5th. I think they will improve under Graham Potter. However, there has been a team that's impressed me more than I thought they were going to be this year, who I've put in 4th now, and that is Tottenham. I put Tottenham into 4th place as it stands right now. They've been very hard to beat. I think they're going to be methodical, hard to beat, efficient all year. And I feel Chelsea are going to improve. I think Chelsea may just miss out. But I think with the transition, I'm going to go with Spurs just finishing ahead of them this year. In 3rd place, I'm going with Liverpool Football Club. I think Liverpool, I think they're going to get better, but I think there's still going to be some problems between now and when they get better. So I'm going to go with Liverpool coming in 3rd. Yeah. I'm going with Arsenal coming in 2nd based on that. I think Arsenal are still going to go from strength to strength. And they're 3rd. I still think they'll get as many points as when I thought they were coming 3rd. I just thought that the team coming 2nd were going to be better than they are. So like Arsenal kind of jump up a place almost by default. And then winning the league, I'm predicting Manchester City coming in top of the tree. And people saying, why Arsenal 2nd? Well, because I thought City and Liverpool were going to be 1 and 2. I now think Liverpool are going to drop below that. So a team automatically gets boosted up. I don't think Arsenal are going to be even better than I originally predicted. It's just one of the teams that was going to be above them has dropped down. So, it's not like Arsenal were better than I already thought they were going to be. It's just Liverpool are trash right now. And I think Arsenal will finish in front of them. So that's my top 6 to end the season. Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City. What we thinking, people? What we thinking?
Can I go?
Take Tottenham out there.
Too kind to us. Too kind to us right now.
Arsenal 2nd is a shocker. I can't lie. Arsenal finishing in the top 4. Yeah, I mean I'll go through my top 4 in a bit, but I can't see Arsenal finishing 2nd. No way. And other than that, it looks okay. But Arsenal 2nd is.
So what would you swap around then, Patrick? Who would you take around?
My top 4, and it's going to stay the same as it did back then, as it is now. It's Man City 1st, Liverpool 2nd, Tottenham 3rd, Arsenal 4th. That was my top 4 then. It's still my top 4 now. Tottenham are a better team than Arsenal. We have been a better team than Arsenal. Even now, we've had the harder fixtures and we're only 1 point behind them. So for you to continue to boost Arsenal up, but
so you're behind Arsenal, say.
Yeah, but we've played. No. Don't look. We're 1 point behind you, and we've played the tougher fixtures. So and also as well, if you look at our form going back to last season, we haven't lost a game in a long time. So yeah, I still think we're a better team. We're last season, this season, the form still continues, right? And we're a better team than Arsenal. We have been for 6 years. So again, Tottenham will finish above Arsenal this season, as we always do. So again, I would put Tottenham above Arsenal. Like, it's not really hard to comprehend. It's all still there for you to see in that when you watch the games. But
Patrick,
yeah.
How are you feeling about Richarlison over Jesus in the squad as well? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think all the Arsenal fans,
Firmino.
All the Arsenal fans are like, yeah, he's resting them. It's okay. It's a weird one for me. Richarlison, as you know, a lot of Arsenal fans laughed at the price tag. I said it showed ambition for us to go out and get Richarlison. He's a good player. He's come in and he's proven that he's a good player. Do you know what I mean? He's come in, he's made a difference when he's come on. You saw he got 2 goals, a man of the match performance in the Champions League. Something that
more than Ober ever got, isn't it? More than Ober ever got for Arsenal, right?
But listen, exactly. I mean, Aubameyang never even touched the Champions League for Arsenal. So
crazy, right?
That's crazy. Insane.
So,
wow, mind-boggling.
One sec, guys. So, Patrick, this is your prediction: City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, United.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. That's me.
That's Patrick's people. Make sure you seal that in. You timestamp it. You take your screenshot. That is what Patrick has said there.
Please.
Egal, what would you go with? What's your top 6 now? Revised top 6 after the window shut.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I'm making too many changes. Maybe bring Manchester United a little bit higher, because I think I had Manchester United 7th last time. So I'm gonna go 6th. I'm gonna go Chelsea, because I feel like Chelsea are in a big transition season. They're going to be working very hard to get themselves sorted out. So I think Chelsea are going to drop down a little bit lower than usual. You're going to have Manchester United 5th, right? Then you're going to I just think Manchester United have been looking good recently, and let's see if they can keep it up. But I think the fact that they're in the Europa League and Chelsea also are going to have to play in the Champions League, it's going to be a little bit easier for Manchester United to stay up there. I still have Arsenal 4th, even though I want to put us a little bit higher. I feel like come the end of the season, I still don't know if our squad depth is good enough to keep us playing at the level we're currently playing at and keep us at the higher end of the table. So I'm going to keep us 4th. Tottenham, reluctantly, I'm putting Tottenham 3rd. I think Tottenham have been good this season, and let's see where they go. And I just feel like Liverpool are going through a tough time right now, but fully fit, their 11 is still one of the best 11s in this league. And with a couple games suspended and the World Cup coming around, I feel like after the World Cup we could see a whole different Liverpool who could still win 10 games on the bounce. So I still put Liverpool 2nd and Man City to win the league. Haaland, that robot, he's going to win them the league no matter what.
Wow, me and Egal's top 6 is pretty much identical. That is mad. Well done, Egal. That's actually crazy.
Listen,
well
done. I actually always had Tottenham ahead of Arsenal just because I know you guys have Kane and Son, and that's just the difference between the two of our teams. You guys have 2 clinical finishers that can absolutely.
I wouldn't say it's just that. We actually defensively, I know.
What the hell?
Romero is obviously a top defender. I wouldn't say our defensive as a individually is better than yours, but as a unit, I think we're better. But yeah, it's tight. I think Arsenal are a good team.
You guys have better stars.
You have a better 11.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know. I think Arsenal have improved, and you're a good team. But yeah, we'll leave it at anyway. That's enough for me.
I get that. Colleen, how about you? What's your top 6 prediction now?
I think originally I had it City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham. So working backwards. Can I see that? Let me see the screen again, just for.
Oh, I'll put mine. I'll put mine. You see mine, yeah.
I'm gonna go with. I'm pretty similar. Actually, mine's exactly the same as yours. Man United 6th, Chelsea 5th. Actually, do you know what? Just for the sake of Mons, just to rattle him a little bit more, we'll put Liverpool 4th, Tottenham 3rd, Arsenal and City.
Wow.
Nice.
And I don't know why, Egal, you need to get on, whether I'm in Disney Plus lands or wherever, you need to subscribe, get in the boat and row, believe. A little bit.
No, Egal's being realistic. That's the difference.
So, Colleen, you said City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea.
No, Chelsea, United.
Chelsea, United in 6. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm just getting that. I just want to make sure I put it all in the right order so that we've got that continuity. At the end of the season, when people get cooked for being wrong.
we'll do mid-season again, and then once we get to January and we're actually still doing well, then I'll put a second.
Arsenal a low-key winning the league. Like I've already said, just you got all of your guys' spots are saved during the parade. But let me not say it again because I don't want to get more hate mail. So
say it again. Say it again.
No, get cooked for being wrong, not hate mail. You'll get cooked for being wrong.
I don't mind being wrong. Like I've already said, right. I don't even care. You can't cook me. I don't care. I'm subscribed to every kind of fantasy. Cook away. I don't care.
I love it. Keep doing you. I love it.
There's Colleen's prediction. Arsenal in 2nd, Tottenham in 3rd, Liverpool coming 4th. What are you saying, Kaz? How do you see it being different from anybody else?
Mine was way different to all of yours. I'm putting Chelsea 2nd. Don't get onto me because the reason why I say this is because I believe in Potter as might sound like a Chelsea deluded guy right now, but I reckon Potter's going to cook. It's just like the same time when Conte took over Chelsea and they ended up winning the league whenever they did in the season. Nobody suspected that, did they? But I reckon this team's got goals, a lot more goals than people think. It's just been 5 games. I think Potter will get them playing correctly and to more to their strengths, in my opinion. I just feel like you lot are underrating it. Yeah, you can laugh now, innit? But it's just an opinion at the end of the day. I'm gonna really put Man City 1st and Chelsea 2nd, and then I put Liverpool. I'm not. No, I'm not. Now I'm gonna have to put Liverpool 3rd and then Tottenham 4th. Don't think there's gonna be much to it. I'm putting Arsenal 5th. Yeah, it's been 5 games or something, but it's been one little blip with Arsenal in terms of little niggles of injuries and stuff. And look at that already. It's just not really a great performance in Europa. not really convincing. I like the look of Marquinhos though. I can't lie, raw. And then I'm putting Man United 6th. It just has to be a bit different from everyone because we're going reactionary of what we've seen so far. I don't think Arsenal can sustain with that squad that they've got. I think Chelsea got a lot better squad than people think. And they got a lot of different options. I like Potter a lot. And Conte, I feel like he's still missing a thing or two. There's times where I watch Tottenham and yeah, they got Harry Kane, but Harry Kane's probably due an injury at some point. And
God forbid.
And it's like, but the thing is, they're grinding out results, and they haven't. It's true what Patrick says. They haven't really gone up a gear yet, which is kind of scary. But you can't put Conte out of a top 4. There's no chance I'm putting that man and a team outside of a top 4 race whatsoever. You could say, but I don't think there's going to be much within it in terms of all these from 6th, little bit, but in terms of 5th to 2nd, I don't really see much difference. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's really. It's hard to say right now currently, but I think Chelsea are going to do well. I believe it.
It's not wild. Like what you're saying isn't like, I'm not like, oh my God, where are you coming from? You're explaining it and there's reason behind it. And, you know, it makes sense. So we'll just have to see, innit? It is tight. I think City, everyone agrees City will not walk. Well, actually, they probably will walk the league. And then after that, it's very tight.
You know what's ridiculous for me is one of the least stable clubs out of the top 6, which that's just changed their manager. You have them finishing 2nd above Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, and Manchester.
I've got reasonings. I've got reasons though, Egal, because they got winners everywhere, bro. They got winners. They got Sterling. He's a winner. You want to talk about mentality and winners in your club in Hey Jesus and Zinchenko? They've got Koulibaly, Thiago Silva. They've got, what's it called? My man up front. They got Aubameyang's a winner. Sterling's a winger. A winger. He's a winger. He's a winner. They got winners everywhere. Reece James is a winner. People love to talk about the Champions League. They got winners. That's the difference. They got trophies in that team to do something. They got winners, bro.
They won one.
It don't matter. Yeah, but I'm talking about a comparison and compared to just individuals in terms of players. They got winners. They know how to win. They got players that know how to win a trophy.
You know how many finals
do you know what I mean? They got a lot.
They seem more like losers to me. Do you know how many?
But they can at least they can get to finals, bro. I'm talking about individually. Thiago Silva. We want to talk about mentality. You want to talk about mentality? No, don't talk. You man got mentality and winners in your team, but we want to talk about the bar. You've won a Champions League and a Premier League. What now? And you're a loser, bro, on many fronts too. But at the same time, for me, I just feel like Chelsea's got enough in the bank for players to get them over the line. For me, they got players to get them over the line more than other teams. That's it. Yeah. You need. That's what I just feel like they do have winners, and Chelsea are used to winning at some point. Winners, they always get trophies.
One, bro.
Yeah, but there's no what do you call it? These are guesses at the end of the day. We're gonna have to see. But I genuinely believe Chelsea, out of Tottenham, Liverpool, and Arsenal, are probably the least stable when it comes to balancing their squad, when it comes to first 11, when it comes to actually knowing who to put out there on a week-to-week basis. There's the most unknown with Chelsea. I'm not even trying to throw salt here, but I feel like if you would have put them in the top 4 ahead of Arsenal and you put them 4th, maybe you could logically give me a reason around that. But everything you're saying, to finish 2nd, they will need to go on a run of games.
I told you already. Fifth. I already gave it between 5th and 2nd. I don't think there's much within it. And as Terry said, even last year they still scored 70 odd goals in the Premier League. So imagine now they got an attacking coach, how much more goals they can score with, and added attacking someone like Sterling and whatnot. That's just my reasoning.
I just want to jump in and say it might not happen, but to debunk Kaz, you've got to debunk the logic, not the opinion. It's always the logic you should be going for, not the opinion. I'm talking in generalities here. We're going to come to Monts in a minute, but we've got some super chats here. The first one says City, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal in that order is what Kurdish Ball says. We'll come back to this best youngster question a bit later. First City, Tottenham, then Chelsea, then Man United. Listen, if that happens, I'll be over the moon, bro. I'll be over the moon.
I'll take it right now.
7th for Teta. And 4th is not a trophy. I'm celebrating it, mate. I'm celebrating it. Shameless. If Arteta finishes 5th and wins no trophies, he will be sacked. 5th might get Champions League next season with the new rules. I'm sure if 5th gets you Champions League, they'll finish 6th. That's actually quite funny. Who would be England's best right back right now? Reece James.
It has to be Reece James.
Or Carl Walker, one of the two.
Walker,
on form. Even Carl Walker's not.
Right now means on form.
No, but even Reece James, bro, Reece James has been dancing as well.
All right,
Just
but we
no
said
one
on
cares.
form. Okay, they've all been bad, but Trent isn't even.
I didn't say anything about Trent. Trent
That's
is
why
horrible
you're
right now.
salty. That's why you're salty.
Bring
That's
it
why
up,
you're
Trent.
salty. Trent's not even the best right back at Liverpool right now. Simple as that.
Right. Trent is horrific, but Reece James is also stinking, but no one cares. No one cares.
Stinking.
No one cares.
That's off topic. That's off topic, but we'll move forward. I can't wait for Arsenal to finish 5th to see Egal's face, is what Matt's got to say. I love this one. It's my favorite super chat of the night. First, Terry always gets predictions wrong. It's not strictly true. I just don't predict the easy thing. Like when everybody else, when I said this is my favorite last year when I said I think Liverpool will catch City. Everyone in the end, you're wrong. I didn't catch them up. I was wrong by a point, bro. Like when I said they'd catch City, you guys said they wouldn't even finish 10 points near them. Like my prediction was actually more accurate than the people that said there was no chance. Like it nearly happened. 2, do you really think Nketiah and them man over a quality squad? Arsenal squad can't handle a full season. But I want to say this as well. These are predictions. These are predictions and their guesses. I'm going for a few out there predictions because I fancy a little bit of an upset or things not to quite happen. And listen to what I said. When I said 3rd, most people could stomach it. The only reason I put Arsenal in 2nd is because I just think Liverpool are going to be worse than what I originally predicted. Therefore, Arsenal have been boosted by the way, if Liverpool are even worse than I think now, then someone else, then Spurs are going 3rd. Not because I think Spurs will be better than what I believe right now. It's just that if Liverpool keep getting worse, everybody gets better, don't they? If Liverpool end up 8th, Man United end up in 5th in my prediction. That's all I'm saying, my friend. But I don't get predictions wrong. When I said that France wouldn't make it to the semi-finals of the Euros, you all said I was crazy. When I said England would, you all said I was crazy. Just to throw one out there. I'm just saying. But I'm also, by the way, when I predict Man United games, I'm always very modest, sometimes too modest. That's just it's because I'm superstitious. I believe if you overly predict big wins or you're going to smash people, I feel like I'm going to upset the gods and my team will lose. And I feel like it's my fault. I don't know if you guys did. I watched a football match and my team's winning because I was sitting down on the chair watching the first half. I can't stand up in the second. I have to stay sitting down. If I start watching the game, my shoes off. My shoes can't go on in the game. I'm very superstitious. I'm a bit of a weirdo. Yeah, no, I'm very superstitious when it comes to sport. Like if I'm standing up at the beginning of the game, we're playing well, I won't sit down for the whole match. Like,
I hear what you're saying. No, I hear you on that one.
What if you don't watch a game and your team does well? Are you not going to watch the next game?
Depends. I never really thought about that because I've not missed a Man United game either at the ground or on TV for 20 years. So I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
I'm quite good at predictions.
My brother got married and I ducked out halfway through the speeches to watch Man United, Man City. I was like, and there's actually pictures in my brother like on his Facebook of all the wedding photos of me outside holding the phone. It was when we came back from 2-0 down and 1-3-2. And there's pictures of me celebrating outside. And I remember like the bride's family going, what's he doing? I was in the wedding as well. Like, I'm in the wedding and I just left the top table and went outside and watched football because Man United is more important to me. My prediction will be City, Spurs, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal. Jeez. Arsenal have the worst squad in the top 6. Chelsea and Liverpool may swap 4th spot is what Bison B says. Colleen, big up yourself. But boy, if you get your predictions wrong, you're getting cooked on a serious note. But on the other hand, Arsenal for life is what Ray says.
There's no cooking to be had. I mean, why can I not indulge and as an Arsenal fan dream a little bit? I'm not here as an impartial host. I'm here as an Arsenal fan.
So I've said this to any budding up and coming YouTuber. Don't worry about getting predictions right. No one listens to you because you're right about opinions, as in like predictions. They care that you articulate your things well, that you've got a good character, that you're fun to listen to, and that you've got sound logic. Because man like Blaze will say Terry always gets predictions wrong, but Blaze super chats on nearly every show I do. He's a big fan of the Terrace. So don't get hell bent on not giving predictions or always, because I could get all my predictions nearly right. Every week I predict the odds. I'm just going to go with the favorite. Whoever the favorite is, I'll predict, and 70% of the time I'll be right, and I look like a genius. But that's like
Terry. If you got every prediction right, I'll tell you now, people being a bookie is making a lot of money. A lot of money.
Exactly. But the thing is, if you like, there's a YouTuber I know, and he always predicts. He's a good guy, but he predicts the favorite for every game that he predicts, and he gets quite a lot right. And well, he's a genius. But it's not hard, is it, to predict the obvious? It's like saying, like as I said before, it's like you're not Nostradamus if someone says, if you stop breathing, you die. Like, we know. If you jump into a swimming pool, you get wet. Like, those kind of predictions to me are boring. It's like that's why it's madness to me. That's why that guy's not growing. That's why his subscribers keep dropping, because he's boring. So don't be boring. Be bold. Be bold. Monts, your top 6, who you going with, bro?
Liverpool top, City second. No, I'm taking this. You don't believe me though. You believe me?
Wait, you won before though. I've got a video of you saying Liverpool win the league this year.
Yeah, that was before we kicked the ball. Before we kicked the ball. I'm gonna go City top spot. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Tottenham second.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Arsenal third.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Liverpool fourth.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Chelsea fifth. And then United sixth.
I love it.
Is that KJ in the background?
Now, this is as it stands, innit? This is as currently, right now, the way everyone's looking. That's what I think. That's what it looks like. If things are to stay how they are.
You know what I do like about all these predictions, including my own, is everyone's basically saying fifth or sixth for Man United. We finish in front of any of your teams. It's the embarrassment you're going to feel.
You ain't seeing me next year. You ain't seeing me.
Man United finish in front of any of your teams. I don't care. Like that's not even.
But it's not impossible. You guys are playing well. It's not impossible.
I'll just do what everyone else does, Terry. I just say, they got a great squad. They're full of world-class players.
Well, certain just got back to that the other day. We beat Arsenal, and she suddenly, like all summer, trashing us, badly run, rubbish squad.
230 million. Why not? Why not dream? Why not dream of fourth?
Rebuild.
You lot can finish fourth, and that's not even a banner.
Rebuild.
Fourth is not a dream.
We can finish fourth. But what Man United would need is to keep getting better, and we would need one or two of the teams that we're all predicting to finish in front of us to fall off and boss. And that's the thing with the predictions. Like, I think Man United will get better and have a good season from where we started and everything the club's been through. But even when I predicted Spurs coming fifth, I said Spurs were going to be great this year. I just thought Chelsea this year under Tuchel were going to be better. We now learn why they're not, though, that the management and the ownership weren't getting on. So that's kind of why sometimes you give those predictions based on what you believe and what the clubs are telling you, and then you find out the truth. And if we'd have known that these problems already existed, I would never have predicted Chelsea coming fourth, because we learned from that. Arsenal, I said, coming third, but Liverpool been nowhere near where we all thought they were going to be. And I don't know if they can recover this year, because unlike a couple of seasons ago, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, and probably Chelsea collectively are all better than they were as a group when they were able to catch up and win those last 10 games on the bounce. And if Liverpool don't improve now, they will find themselves between third and fifth, no doubt.
Can I make one quick point?
Mm-hmm.
You know how you guys? Well, I've put Liverpool the lowest out of everyone's predictions. I actually have Liverpool the lowest now. I just want to make one point. You guys, I've been called quite reactionary in the comments, and after everything that's been said, the general consensus is that it's only been 6 games, right? Yeah. Right. So why is it when it comes to Trent Alexander-Arnold, people aren't saying it's only 6 games?
Oh my God, this Trent needs to stop.
No, it's just a question. Hold on. Why when it comes to Virgil van Dijk, has it only not been 6 games? And why with Mo Salah, it's only 6 games? That's it.
So why with Trent? Because the mistakes Trent's making, he's been making this whole time when your team was good, but it was masked by the fact that your team's conversion rates were higher and you were winning games. Now that your attackers have stopped scoring goals, and now that Virgil van Dijk is also playing poorly and he's not being able to, and you've not got Matip there in some of these games, and you've not had Konate there in some of these games, and they're not there to mop up the mistakes, he's being exposed. Trent's been doing this up, because if you look at those graphics I put up earlier, this was a goal. This was a goal last season, as an example, against West Ham when he didn't go with his runner, as an example. He's been doing this for time, and the excuse he was given back then was he's told not to track back, so he's ready to counterattack. All these things. People are coming for Trent for one reason and one reason only. At 21 years of age, some Liverpool fans were telling us that he's the greatest right back in the history of the Premier League, and above the likes of Dani Alves, has rejuvenated and reinvented the position above and beyond anybody else that's ever played right back. When those kind of claims are made, people keep receipts. That's all it is, bruv. For me, 100%. That's what it is.
So that's a logical answer for what you're saying for Trent and for Verge. Not so much for Salah, but for Trent and Verge, I hear it. I still don't get the comparisons to Reece James with Liverpool, but again, after 6 games. I just think some people have to keep the same energy.
But once you're acting like Reece James has been cooking for a while. Let's not act like Reece James hasn't been doing bits for a while. He's been
average this season. This season,
but
average. But this is what I'm saying. He's been average this season. He's been average.
Yeah,
But
but
no
his
one cares.
his average is still
cares.
better than Trent's poor, though. Let's be real, innit? Just
Yeah,
if we're being
Trent's
real.
poor, but how
Yeah.
long has Trent been poor for? Not long. He hasn't been poor.
The low's been better than all of them. How about that?
He has his occasional stinker. He does have his occasional stinker. Of course he does. Do you know what I'm saying? But his stinker is highlighted because of Liverpool fans' delusion. I understand that, Terry. That was a very good point. He is highlighted more than if Reece James has a stinker, no one cares. If Cancelo has a stinker, no one cares. When you're winning, things get masked. Things get covered up easily.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
Liverpool have been winning Liverpool have been winning for the last 5 years. So you know.
I get it, but it's a bit like this. Egal comes on and says, "Come outside, Tottenham fans." Colin comes on and goes, "Oh, I think Spurs are better than us." Who gets cooked by the Tottenham fans when they finish in front of Arsenal? The one who calls them out. So when Liverpool fans come out and big Trent up, and I'm not even the best right now, world class right now, the greatest right back of all time.
But that's crazy. That's ridiculous.
But when you say ridiculous, this wasn't just like some random Liverpool fan with no name on Twitter. This was being spouted. And equally with Liverpool, the reason you're getting cooked is Stephen Howson did a brilliant thread on this, where there has been at least one of your ex-legends or top football pundits in the last 12 months alone. He dug out all the articles who have claimed that an article on Robertson, an article on Trent, article on Van Dijk, article on Salah, Mane, all these guys have how those individuals are the best in the world at their role. So suddenly, when you've got like journalists and your ex-players saying you've basically got the best 11 in the world, whenever you start doing poorly, rivals are just going to come for you because everyone's Liverpool's rival because you've been around so long, like Man United, of course, City right now because you're both challenging for the title.
I saw the studio on final there.
When you're a big club, this is what happens. And I think for some of the younger Liverpool fans, you've never seen your team be successful and you suddenly become successful and you suddenly wonder, and it's like, oh shit, why is everyone coming for us? This is the way it is, bruv. This is just the way it is. I used to go to Leyton Orient games as a kid and they'd read out the football results at halftime and at full time. If Man United at halftime or at full time were ever read out as drawing or losing, the Leyton Orient fans would cheer. And I used to find it so weird, like Leyton Orient. No one else. Liverpool could have lost, no one cheered. Chelsea could have lost, no one cheered. West Ham down the road could have lost, no one cheered. Leicester won, Man United 0. Way, the crowd would go. And it's now moved. It's the cities and it's the Liverpools that now get that because they're the current successful team. So for me, I think it's just because you're successful, mate. To be honest.
No, I know we're most hated. As I said, I saw the studio on the final day. It was there on the final day of the studio. We were fans.
It was great. It was great.
You know what I'm saying? So,
it was great. Bison here says Terry is very superstitious. When all other Man United managers had hair, Terry was bald. As soon as United get a bald manager, great manager, Terry gets a hair transplant. There could be something in that. There could be something in it. Kaz, your prediction is perfect. Arsenal are proven chokers. Liverpool have a non-existent midfield. Arsenal season starts in October. Come on, Chelsea, is what's been said by Mr. Kumar there. Seeing you and James Walcott put Arsenal second is the most come-up story of any team. Oh, James Walcott agreed with me. Fair enough. He's a good guy. He knows his football. City, Spurs, Liverpool, United in the top 4. I'd love that. That'd be.
A few people have got United in there now, Terry. So
I know a few people have.
It's not. You're not as far off it. You're not as far off as you think.
Quick question here. Top 4 managers in the league. We going Pep,
right now.
Klopp. Yeah, Pep, Klopp, Conte, Ten Hag.
Ten Hag is 4th. I'd put Ten Hag over Arteta. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'd say that's right.
Wait,
yeah.
Would you put Ten Hag over?
Yeah, because he's actually achieved something. He's actually achieved trophies. Like,
yeah.
Arteta got the FA in his back pocket.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is Ten Hag's been able to do it with a fantastic Ajax team. Let's see how he does it at Manchester United. Right now, I'd say him and Arteta on the
Egal, you can't. I hear what you're saying, but
he's already been back. So
at the end of the day, the manager.
No. I'm just saying him and Arteta right now are in the same level in the Premier League. Let's see what actually Arteta's won stuff in the Premier League. He's won an FA Cup. Let's see what Ten Hag can do in the Premier League.
So one FA Cup makes him better manager than Ten Hag all of a sudden.
I never said he's better. I said
you're shaking your head though. We talk about who's the currently best managers.
No, but the way you guys are making it seem is like, oh, he's just better.
So it shouldn't be the hardest job to come forth then, guys.
How do you judge a manager really? Like honestly, like I can get it. Some managers don't win anything. Like Graham Potter hasn't really won much in football, but I rate him. I even rate him more than Arteta. How about that? But I can judge them on that level because there's not much that separates them in terms of trophies won. That's it.
If you rate a manager more, surely they can finish higher in the table. Then no. If you rate Ten Hag as a top 4 manager in the Prem, then surely because a great
Why
manager.
isn't Brendan Rodgers? Why isn't
Yeah,
Brendan
but it's
Rodgers?
about you've
apply
also
that
got.
logic.
Brendan Rodgers. 1 second. Brendan Rodgers won more trophies than Ten Hag's, Arteta, and all these guys, but no one's considering.
Hang
him
on,
because
Brendan Rodgers has won more trophies.
Won the FA Cup, man. That's it.
He won at Celtic. How many trophies did he win at Celtic? He won way more than thing.
Okay,
Am I
but so
mistaken?
and that's a fair point. He won a lot of league titles in a one-horse race. The Rangers weren't even back in the league when he was winning there.
Same as Ten Hag.
So there's no team in. So that's not true, is it? Because when Ten Hag took over at Ajax hadn't won a league title in a number of years.
I wasn't.
So if Brendan Rodgers took over Celtic when another team was dominating and got Celtic back to dominating, it would be a fair comparison. But for me, winning a one-horse race, I mean, literally, as soon as Rangers got kicked out of the Scottish League, it went from being a 2-horse race to a 1-horse race, and there's not much in that. I mean, but you could argue. The question is for you: do you think Brendan Rodgers is better than Ten Hag and Arteta?
No, but if we're judging them based off trophies,
but that wasn't the only reason people are judging Ten Hag. I'm asking you: is Brendan Rodgers better than Arteta and Ten Hag as a manager?
No, he's not, and he hasn't been with at Leicester. But what he same as Steven Gerrard. People were judging these guys based on their trophies won at other clubs. When Steven Gerrard came to the Premier League, people were saying he's a better manager than Arteta.
The only people that were doing that were Liverpool fans. The Liverpool fans still defending it. Liverpool fans were. I put a video about it the other day saying that Gerrard's a fraud. Every Villa fan that interacted with it said you're bang on. The only people defending him were Liverpool fans. It's so funny. He's making me laugh.
Listen, I'm just trying to debunk this whole thing about trophies. If trophies the only thing that matters, Brendan Rodgers has more trophies than what do you call it? Arteta. He has more trophies than majority of the managers outside of. I
don't think it's on trophy. No one said it's just on trophy. I think when you look at Ten Hag and you look at Arteta, Ten Hag's won 3 league titles and he's won 2 FA Cups, if you want to call it that. But he's also had very good runs on a shoestring budget in the Champions League. He's Champions League proven. Arteta's not managed a team in that. He hasn't. So I think if you weigh up style of football, experience in the game, trophies won, Champions League experience, I think it would be a fair shout to say that Ten Hag is ahead of Mikel Arteta. I think it's a fair shout to say that when you look at all those elements that are involved. I'm not saying it has to be the case. He is better, but I think you've got to make an argument as why Arteta has got more experience and achieved more across all those metrics.
Hey, Ten Hag has more experience. You guys can put him ahead of there. But I just think right now, let's see how he does in the Premier League and let's judge them based on what they do in the Premier League.
So do you agree or disagree with the comment, Egal?
I don't generally disagree, but I'm just saying this whole thing where it's not even a debate, it's not even a conversation, he's just fourth. That's where I'm disagreeing. That's it.
But no one said that.
No one said that.
I applied the logic as to why people would say he's better. Your job, you think he isn't. So why is Arteta's experience better than Champions League semi-finalist, 3 league titles, 2 FA Cups, Dutch equivalents, style of football, like all these things? What is it that makes Arteta better than him as an overall manager, in your opinion?
And just
I wasn't saying he was better, Terry.
So answer the question: who is better in your opinion, Arteta or Ten Hag?
I think Ten Hag has a better career than Arteta. He's had a better career.
That's oh my God. If Ten Hag had 3 years, in my opinion.
1 second. I think he's had a better career than Arteta. We don't know. We can't change their shoes. But based on what he's achieved more than Arteta. If you want to do it based on achievements, hence why I brought in Brendan Rodgers.
Okay, but that isn't the question. We're not saying better career, but who is the better manager in your opinion? Ten Hag or Arteta? Answer the question straight.
We will find out.
No, I want your opinion, Egal. I want your opinion.
No, that's my opinion.
That's not an opinion. That's not my opinion. Egal, right now, you have an answer, and you know what the answer is. Just say it.
What's the answer?
I don't know. You know, it's in your head.
No. Yeah, you think you know my answer, but what's the answer?
There's no way. Egal. Guys. So
actually dead.
Right now in your head, you, like everyone listening and everyone on the panel, you believe one of them is better than the other. We all do. We all have an opinion on who we think the overall better manager is. I want to hear who you think.
Hey, I told you. We'll wait and see.
You're here to give opinions. You're here to give opinions.
Terry, my opinion is that I generally think it's not as close. It's not as far as everyone thinks it is.
No one's saying it's far. I think it's really, really close. I agree. It's really, really close.
I think Mikel Arteta and all these other managers that you guys are pinning against him, based on the fact that it's his first job, you're disregarding him in this conversation. And I think with a lesser squad, with less talent, with less everything, he's still being put in those same conversations. So personally,
the question, sorry, Gal, I'm not letting you do that. I'm not letting you wriggle off the hook on this one. The question was top 4 managers. So nobody's disrespecting him. The question was, who are the top 4 managers?
Since Thomas Tuchel got sacked,
yes.
I think Mikel Arteta is the 4th.
So you think Mikel Arteta is a better manager than Ten Hag?
At this moment in time, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's gonna prove it.
Just said it. You literally just said it.
Yeah, you said it. You said it.
I'm gonna be. Can I say something now? Yeah. If Ten Hag had 3 years with Arsenal currently, I reckon he does a much better job than what Arteta is currently doing, which I think he's done a good job. I just think Ten Hag, because he's got more experience, and when Ajax weren't winning, when he took over them, brought them to be winning side, by the way, not just on the Dutch front, but also doing successfully for their standards in the Champions League for as much as little as they do have, which you also compare, that Arsenal don't have much going on. So on that note, I feel like if Ten Hag had 3 years currently like he done, like Arteta has, I reckon he does a lot better of the job. I don't think he finishes where you did last year either, because then we would be talking about how sick Ten Hag is as a manager. But I'm not discrediting Arteta, because I said it, I quite like Arteta. I just don't think he's currently a better manager just due to CV and things that surround it.
Understand my point, though. My point was, we are taking everything he's done at the Eredivisie with Ajax, and yes, he's done great getting to a Champions League run and everything else. But then we're completely discrediting what Steven Gerrard has done before he came to the Premier League. We're discrediting what Brendan Rodgers has come before he came to the Premier League. And you guys will say Mikel Arteta is a better manager than those two. So hence, why is it that when we compare him to Ten Hag,
I don't know if people would. I don't know. Right now, Brendan Rodgers and Leicester are in a really bad space. But 18 months ago, if you'd have said who's a better manager, Brendan Rodgers or Mikel Arteta, people would have probably said Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah,
I don't think Brendan Rodgers is a world-class manager. However, Brendan Rodgers goes to another club next month. Don't be surprised if that team for a 3 or 4 year period becomes really good again. Does that make sense? And by the way, like, he only won 2 premierships in fairness with Celtic, and he was there 3 or 4 years. But I get your point. But like, it's just a question around who you think is better. And we are talking in the here and now. We're not saying who's had the best career. We are talking in the moment, and obviously stocks go up and down. But I think top 4. I think Ten Hag's in the equation. I think you could argue Mikel Arteta is there or thereabouts, but I think winning league titles is something you have to have on your CV. But then it depends who else you're up against, And right now we know the top 3 is obviously Klopp, Pep, and Antonio Conte. And this season, sorry,
Potter won a league title with Ossisons. He's in there too, right?
Well, it's again, but then you've got to manage the quality.
He's ahead of Arteta now too, because he won a league title.
But you're being sort of very facetious, which is intriguing. No, because what you're doing is you're taking one element that we've said about Ten Hag and you're applying it as the complete. It's a bit like when we turn around and say, I think Scholes has had a better career than Gerrard because he's won more league titles. And then people go, oh, you're saying that Luke Chadwick's better. No, because we're talking about 2 world-class players being compared to each other. We're not saying everybody with the league title is better than Steven Gerrard. I'm not saying every manager who's won a league title in any country in the world is better than Mikel Arteta. You're taking it to the nth degree and creating a straw man argument. What we're asking for is who you think's better. And you've answered it in. I know you think Mikel Arteta is better. And I know you think he's going to prove it this year. By the way, we'll have some people that will argue that even if you finish above Man United this year, Ten Hag's still better. It's going to take him time to cook and create his team and everything else. But there we go. It's an interesting question. We have some more super chats still. We weren't even done. Alienator here says City first, Spurs second, United third, Arsenal fourth. That's a big, bold prediction. I wouldn't mind that being true, to be fair, to a degree. I don't want City winning 3 on the bounce, but I still prefer them to win than Liverpool. Reece James has literally been our best player this year, is what DJ says. Best youngster in the top 6: Saka, Foden, Sancho, Mount, Elliott, or the joke Spence. Pick 2 for the World Cup squad.
What are we considering a youngster? Mason Mount is like 24, 25 now, right?
I'm saying 23 years old and younger.
Yeah, so Mount isn't in there then. For me, it'd be Foden then Saka.
Mount is 23 years old, so you can.
Okay, so he still can. Interesting. But still, I still think Foden and Saka are better than Mount. Yeah.
So Saka and Foden are my two youngsters that I'd throw into that mix in terms of attacking players. I think they're both. I think Jadon Sancho is a weird one. Let's see what he does this season. As
what about Kulusevski? I forgot about him.
He can't be picked for England. I think they've
got.
Is it?
English.
Yeah,
sorry, my bad.
Unless Kulusevski's actually English, that'd be good if he was.
No. So I didn't know. I didn't know we were talking English.
All I know is how old is Mount or Elliot get in over Saka.
No, Elliot's nowhere near where England squad level.
Yeah, no chance.
Nowhere near.
And Sancho's going to find it very difficult to get in also.
Well, they're talking that Rashford and Sancho are both going to be back in for the next round of fixtures. They've both been very good this year. They've been much better this year.
Sancho has been good this year. I know Arsenal fans won't want to say it, but it's true. He has been good, and he deserves to be in it if we're talking right now. So,
how old is James?
I have a theory around this. No matter what, Sancho, Saka, and Rashford were, if they were playing any relative good form, they were going to be in because I feel like Gareth Southgate somewhat owes them, putting them in that situation from the Euros. I don't know if you guys think that's crazy or not. But.
I don't think he so much owes him, but it's that when on form, they're better than some of the other players. Like they're all better than Bowen, in my opinion, when they're on form. The issue that Sancho and Rashford had is the whole Man United squad was so bad last year. It was right they would drop, but the improvements they've both shown so far this year, between now and the World Cup, they keep getting back to their old levels. You think Rashford has not even been that great this season yet, and he's already got 5 or 6 GA, and that's what matters when you're an attacker: scoring those goals, getting them assists, and those. And I think especially we play against teams that open up against us. Rashford is dangerous. He's one of the best players in the world at running in behind a high line. He really is. That's why he's got so many goals against top 6 teams. So I think for England. Sorry, Maguire will play for England at the World Cup and he'll start. He just will. And I'm going to defend Maguire here. For England, I know people say just pick on form, but it doesn't work that way. For England, he has been our best centre-back since Sir Bobby Moore. As in performances for England, not better than the other players, but performances for England. Or show me an England centre-back.
Wait, no, hold on. No chance. You're talking Anton Ferdinand.
No.
John Terry.
Let me just, you've not listened to my point again. Perform for us. Show me another centre-back who's led us to a World Cup semi-final and a Euros final since 1966. For England, he has been exemplary. So he will not get dropped by Southgate. Whether you like, I don't want anywhere near the Man United team. What do you mean context?
I still believe that England's run, we had a good run. We had a kind run. I don't think the first tough team we faced. The first tough team we faced, we crumbled.
Well, we beat Germany at the Euros. They're a tough team, but
Germany,
mate, cool. And I don't really want to get into an England debate. I really don't.
We won't.
My point is, for England, Maguire has been so consistently flawless. Southgate won't drop him. I don't think just for missing. I just don't think he will. And I know a lot of people in the comments go, no way he's been. But listen, John Terry had some great moments for England. Rio had some great moments. Tony Adams, Sol Campbell. But I've seen those guys who are better than Harry Maguire fuck up and lose us games against teams like Iceland. That hasn't happened under this England team. We haven't been losing at tournaments to those types of teams. All of those names that we've mentioned that are all better than Maguire didn't. And the point is, people always twist it into better than those individuals. But Maguire will definitely be playing for. There's certain players, you can almost guarantee Pickford, Maguire, Walker as examples, Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips, of course, Sterling. These players, in form, out of form. Raheem Sterling didn't barely play for City for 6 months, and he was the main man at the Euros because he is so important to Southgate's system, whether you like it. So I think Harry Maguire is an absolute to go. And people keep saying, Terry, stop. People keep telling me to stop saying things. Disprove me. Show me a centre-back pairing in an England shirt who have performed as consistently and achieved what this recent England team have done since 1966. The fact is you can't. I'm not even a big Southgate fan. I really, really not. And I think his time's done. I think it'll be done over the Euros. But when I grew up as a kid, England fans used to moan that the squad used to change too much, and it needs to be more like a club where you stick with a winning group. And now we stick with winning players that win for England, and everybody moans because they're out of form for their club. I don't care how bad Maguire is for Man United. If he does well for England, they want him playing. That's my take anyway. But
do you think going back to what I was saying, it's more about favoritism and people familiarity with who he had worked with prior?
I don't think it's favoritism. It's who performs for his England team, as opposed to I prefer you. It's about those facts. Yeah, look, people saying Terry and Rio are so superior to Harry Maguire. It's unbelievable. But for England, they did not perform as well as him and John Stones. That's just a fact. It's a fact of life.
You know what? Yeah. You're right, Terry. When you said it, I was like, what the hell? But as you broke it down, I hear what you're saying. Obviously, Terry and Rio were the first guys I mentioned, and you obviously know why I said it. But when you actually explain it, it makes perfect sense. And as much as I hate it, you're right. Maguire will play because he hasn't let down anyone in the England shirt. That's the bottom line. And the centre-back pool isn't that rich anyway. It's not like there's like tons of players to pick from. There really isn't. So, unfortunately, you're right.
I think what I would say as well is that England do play. You see, Maguire before we went to United was he was very good when in a low block defense. I'm not saying England play a low block, but when the line isn't too high, Maguire does have the potential to thrive. We've seen him thrive at left.
He's not that bad on the ball as well. He's a decent player when he's got confidence and when he's.
And then you get these comments here like, "What did Maguire achieve?" Well, the point is, again, you've got to look at nationalistically. England have been so bad since 1966. This was our first final since 1966. We've never gone back-to-back semis and finals in the history of our nation. Although we invented football, although we've got the best league here in the world, nationally we've been so bad for a long time. Us getting to a semis and a final is an achievement. Now, of course, people want to move the goalposts. The same people that laugh at that and say it's not an achievement said we wouldn't even get out the group stages of both these competitions. Therefore, if that's your bar for us, not getting out the group stage and you get to a semi and a final, you have overachieved. Therefore, an overachievement is an achievement in itself. And no one has said that Harry Maguire is the greatest England centre-back of all time, the best performing England centre-back of all time. He's just been more successful than the majority of his predecessors since 1966. And therefore, back to the actual point being made, Southgate isn't dropping him. That was actually the question. No one has said, is Harry Maguire the best centre-back England's ever had? That'd be a weird thing to say. It's just in Southgate's system. And Southgate ain't changing. He ain't being more expansive. He's not going to two at the back. He's going to play the same damn way. What has Maguire won with England? Again, it's not the point being raised at all, my friend. So there's no relevance to that question at all. But thank you, Trent, for the super chat. I don't believe Ten Hag is a better manager. They are the same level. Ten Hag won more, but that was in the Dutch league. Reminds me of Villas Boas. Good point.
You know what? Can I say something to that? Ten Hag coming in has already improved this Man United team. You see a style of play. You see, if you watch Dutch football, you know that Ten Hag is a good coach. He's developed and coached players. Ajax have a selling model. Every year they bring someone else in, and Ten Hag also develops them. Coming into United, you can already see he's starting to get the best out of players. So, yeah, it's early days, but you can't just say that Ten Hag isn't a good manager and he's not better than Arteta. The proof is in the pudding. It's early, but you can see that Ten Hag was hired for a reason. So, yeah, man, give him time, but don't write him off just like that. It's mad when people are doing that. United, no one thought United would be where they are right now. So that alone tells its own story.
Where are they, by the way?
What do you mean, where are they, by the way? They're in a decent run of form, right? I swear they've won like 3 in a row.
3 points off of you, no?
They've won 4 in a row, sorry. So they're actually doing quite well. Come on, let's be real.
No? Yeah, we beat both your clubs.
Bro, this is the best Arsenal team we've seen in the last probably 8-9 years. And this is the worst Man United team of the millennia. And they're 3
and they
points
just
behind.
beat you. There you go. That's it. Like, come on, just be fair, innit? Be balanced. Like, you can say United.
This is what you'll see this season, by the way. If Man United keep improving and keep getting better, it won't be, oh my God, they're so much better than I thought they would be. Ten Hag's really trained them up. Some of the players have a trash, are better than I thought. It will just be, yeah, but you spent that money, so this is where you should be. Well, if that's where you believe the squad was meant to be, you'd have predicted that at the beginning. No one will give Ten Hag or Man United credit irrespective. And as you say, like no one's getting carried away at Man United's end. There's a few fans are online and things like that, but United have got a long way to go. But to win 4 on the bounce is a good little achievement in the context of where we've been. And
100%.
Listen, that's also partly why I'm annoyed the games have been cancelled, because United are in good form. And, I believe we would have played Palace. No, we have. And I know we didn't do well in the Europa League, but listen, we're playing Leeds, right? We'd have beaten Leeds this weekend, in my opinion. I think we'd have won. And what's now going to happen is we missed 2 games, which isn't good for the flow. You've got other teams around us that are going to play football matches. So then you come back to a bigger gap. you know, maybe you're out of a little bit of form because you then miss, you know, we're going to miss 3 weeks of league football. I'm a little bit annoyed that it's happened to us, if I'm being honest. But there we go.
Same.
And then we got
annoyed.
now we got City. And now we got City away when we come back.
Yeah, I was annoyed 'cause I wanted to play City. We're in good form right now. City is still a bit shaky. I wanted to get that out of the way. You don't want that postponed game to be Man City. That's long.
No, I agree. Ten Hag had to rebuild 2 teams, and he still was dominating the top clubs in Europe. On top of that, he tactically outmastered Arteta last Sunday.
Thomas,
Well, he did.
He did.
Thomas Tuchel outclassed Klopp on many occasions, but people were using that to point out that he was better than Klopp. We know at the end of the day.
No, we just said he outsmarted. We literally not saying he's better than who. We just said
On the day.
he just
On
out.
the day.
He just
No, but
on
on
the
the
days-
day, anybody can tactically
Yeah,
outsmart anybody.
but what you're now
And
doing
then-
again, Egal, is you're reading the last part. Read the last part with the beginning part. It gives multiple reasons why he thinks Ten Hag's better. You focus on the last bit and you've singled it down to just that. It's a clever technique. It works in Spaces. It works on Twitter. It doesn't work on the football terrace, my friend. Egal, using your logic, Eddie Howe is the best in the league for the quality of football he is producing and how he is making Chris Wood do nutmegs.
Sure, Eddie Howe's a good shot that people keep forgetting about.
He is someone.
He's not the what. It's not. Yeah.
He's up there. He's up there. He's up there.
He's a good shot, man. He's done well at Newcastle.
Question: what did Erik ten Hag do in his first 4 years? What do you mean?
Because he started with Go Ahead Eagles and then went to Utrecht afterwards, that kind of thing. Oh, actually, to be fair, did he not start off with Bayern Munich's second team and win with them or something?
He started with Go Ahead Eagles. He was at, and then he went to Bayern Munich's second team, managed them for 72 games, and then he went to Utrecht, and then he earned his stripes. He didn't win anything at those clubs. I don't know if those clubs are meant to be winning things based on where they are. I have no idea, but good question, my friend. Arteta has done an incredible job, but Ten Hag has had to rebuild a team that was picked apart after it had a Champions League semi-final run and was successful. That's the one thing I'd say about Ten Hag. If he could have kept hold of that, that's the one problem when you manage at that level is your teams get pillaged every single season almost, and he lost so many of them. The United disrespect is getting ridiculous. Stop lowering expectations. A team with a Casemiro, Anthony, and with Martinez and Varane are not finishing 5th or 6th. I hope so, Joshua Jack. I hope so.
He's onto something.
There's a lot of good teams though, Joshua. What I will say is that it's not disrespect. There's a lot of good teams in the league right now. But yeah, to be fair,
and like I said before, to your reaction there, I've said on a few streams, and to Joshua's point, if rivals are willing to openly and honestly say we're better than some of you, then I'll predict us finishing higher. But I'm not going to predict Man United coming full for 3rd when none of you say we're better than you. That's weird. I'm not doing that.
No. I'm saying, Terry, I just think it's more possible than you make it out to be. It's 4th place is not it's more possible than I think you're making it out to be personally in it. That's
There's going to be more hiccups in the road.
That's not what you man said 6 weeks ago.
No, but that was before you hadn't spent all that money on Casemiro. You hadn't bought one of the top 2 DMs in the world, and also
I think it's a point. I think you're right. It's not impossible, but it requires teams to drop off a little bit. This is a new system, new manager, new team. It's going to take time to gel. But I don't think we're going to be a bad team this year, and you've seen that in these last 4 games. We've beaten Liverpool. We've beaten. Yeah,
so I think you're surprised. I think you're surprised people, not by coming 2nd or 3rd, but I think you guys definitely have it in you to surprise people. Like you guys
definitely. When we beat City as well at their ground, when we play counter-attacking against them, just to piss you lot off.
What did you say? What did you say, Gal?
So is the season similar to like Chelsea with Graham Potter, kind of like a free hit because of course it's his first season?
It's not a free hit at all. We have to play by the end of the season. We've got to be on an upwards trajectory. We've got to win more games, lose more games than last season. There's got to be a style and identity of football. There's got to be a belief that next year we can go to another level, because within 3 seasons, Man United have to be competing and have a genuine chance of winning the league title and the Champions League. Otherwise, it is a failure. That's the standard of Man United. And I say within that period of time, because of where certain teams are already ahead of us, and it takes time to get to City and Liverpool's actual. And Liverpool are playing bad right now. We're bantering them, but to get to the standard they've been at to win leagues, you're not doing that in 1 year. I think it's going to take 2 to 3 to get to that point. So yeah, but it's not a free hit. There's no such thing as a free hit. Every game you play is a test. Every game can improve you or make you worse, and every game should be taken seriously. There's no such thing as a free hit.
when I say that, obviously I don't mean about like seeing improvements. Obviously, you're going to see improvements, but what I mean is finishing in the league. There's no major expectation in finishing top four, as you've already said. Winning a trophy, there's no expectation in winning either the Europa League or a domestic trophy this season on Ten Hag's shoulders. So that's more or less what I mean. Achieving actual league position.
It's not really a free hit. It's because there's on paper and according to every rival, there are 4 to 5 teams that are better than us. So if there's 5 teams better than Man United, there can't be an expectation on us to win a trophy or to win or to get into the top 4 because you're like, if you just forget everyone else, if you think there's 4 teams better than us, you can't say there's an expectation on us to make the top 4. There's only an expectation for us to get into the top 4 if you're saying we're on par with those teams. So
no. I've gone through this for the past couple of seasons, so I completely get where you're coming from with the actual gradual steps that you want to see your team make, and obviously you want to see that. But the one thing that the stick that we were beat with was our league position and the fact that we didn't add domestic trophies or other trophies like the Europa League.
I remember being in the studio when people spoke about what people got frustrated with some Arsenal fans doing is that you go into some big games, say Man United at Old Trafford last year, be very confident that you would win, lose, and then say, but it doesn't matter anyway because it's a free hit because you'll make the top 4 for your form against the teams outside the top 6. It doesn't really matter if you lose against them. The goalpost always, I remember before the Liverpool game last season, and it was, this is when we're going to show everyone that we've turned a corner and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. You got beat comprehensively, and it was, but it doesn't really matter because we weren't expected to win. That's why Arsenal fans all got stick, because some Arsenal fans just couldn't hold their hands up and say we were comprehensively beaten today and we've got to do better. I'm not going to do that with Man United. If we go into our next big game against City and they smash us, I'm going to be annoyed and expect improvements. But do I have patience to wait for those improvements? Yes, there's a difference between being patient to wait and demanding that those improvements come along. I won't just get beat by City and go, well, they're the best team in the league. It was a free hit. That for me is never going to come out of my mouth, ever.
Okay.
Ever. Okay. Every year that Man United don't win the league or Champions League, it's a failure by the club, but it won't be a failure for Ten Hag due to the context in which he took over. Worst Man United team in the Premier League era. That's very true. But Terry, everyone did that to Arsenal last year. We bottled the end, but everyone said we had like 5th or 7th best team in the league last year. Well, if you guys, again, I can't talk for what everybody else said. I can only speak for myself. And I think I predicted you improving and coming between 5th and 6th last year. And that's where you ended up. Of course, context matters, though. So again, it's hard to sit here and do this. It makes answers really long. If Spurs and Arsenal and Chelsea fall off from this point and are shit for the rest of the year, and Man United are playing much better football and we still don't make the top 4, then that is failure. But that's the context within it. The reason why Arsenal had a real chance last year is because Leicester, Man United, and Tottenham, from what everybody predicted at the beginning of the season, were nowhere near that standard. And it opened the door and an opportunity for Arsenal, and they didn't take it. So context is really key in these moments. Because if Arsenal were as good as they were last year, what everyone predicted them to be, but so were Man United and Leicester, Arsenal would have come 5th or 6th. But no one would have called you bottle jobs because there weren't an opening for you. So I think context is really key. But people love context at times and hate it at others. Question. You say a bad season for Ten Hag. What is it?
Quantitatively.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, what's it? What do you say is a bad season? Yeah. No, but I'm saying, I don't know. I don't really understand why. We've already discussed this. But he's already said this.
Sorry, I think that last super chat meant what is a bad season for Ten Hag this year?
A bad season is being, again, not progressing us, not making us better, not moving up the table, not so much positions, but being closer to that top 4, looking. And this is one of the reasons why last year I said it was so important that Arsenal could compete in those top 6 clashes, because you need to be able to beat those teams to cement top 4. And you definitely need to be able to beat those teams to win league titles. And that's what we're all striving to get towards. We need to see clear progression that we're moving in the right direction to one day be able to compete for a league title again. Otherwise, there's no point.
But you know what?
That for me is it.
Hey, I'm gonna let it go because I know you've been on shows plenty of times with Ligue 1 arguing that there's been progress, even though we haven't progressed in the league that much. So I get where you're coming from. But that's basically the goalposts are going to be moved. Obviously, because you're Manchester United, we're Arsenal, we're going to have people trying to belittle whatever improvements that are happening throughout the season.
But that's also sometimes you don't have to become as good as City were as the Centurions to win the league. And the reason I say that is this: the people now winning the Olympic golds in the 100-meter sprint, are they as fast as Usain Bolt was?
Hell no.
But if they would have not bothered working and improving during Bolt's like latter years, and then he retires, they wouldn't have been ready to replace him as the best now in the sport. Like, do you think someone who wins an Olympic gold but doesn't break Usain Bolt's record feels like less of a winner? Of course they don't. This is what I mean about improving. You have to keep improving, because at some point the teams above you they fall off. Everyone falls off. Like, no matter how good our teams have been in the past, now we all will fall off again at some point. You've got to be ready to pounce when the opportunity presents itself. So that's why the progression and the trajectory is so important. The reason why I'm predicting Arsenal 3rd/2nd this year is because you're continuing to get better, and I'm seeing teams fall off around you. So you're going to hopefully capitalize upon that. If we were basing it all on where do we think Arsenal were going to come based on the best Liverpool and best City team of the last 5 years, you're never going to probably put them above 2nd or above 3rd, because they might not ever get to that level under Arteta. But that means you won't ever win the league again, because these standards will dip again. Because I think sometimes people overcomplicate it really with like the points totals and everything else. I said quantitatively give objective parameters. I kind of have. I've already given those on the show. I don't want to sort of like beat the same drum, but better football, win more games, score more goals, concede less than last year, lose a lot less games, be competitive in the top 6 clashes, beat our rivals, work hard, run hard, progress up the league table, look like a threat. By the time we start next season, I don't want everyone going, oh, United to be 6th or 7th, struggle to make top. We did a show live, and some of you guys were there. We had people like Lawrence on the show, Boovy, saying we'd be lucky to make top 10. Like, improvement for me is by the time we start next year, United are a genuine bona fide threat. Now, if you can pick up a trophy along the way, even with the Europa League, we can win it. We can win it. I have to wait and see who drops out of the Champions League first, though, before I predict it, because you don't know who's coming down. Like, you literally could, Real Madrid could have a terrible group stage and end up in the fucking Europa League. Do I think we can beat them really over 2 legs? Probably not. But, you know what I mean? Tottenham are going to be in there, and they're a tough team. Do you know what I mean? So loads that can happen. But there we go. Again, it's a very hard question. Sometimes it's easy to ask me a direct question. It's easy to answer it because I don't know. It's so much context to apply to it. Ten Hag took the go-ahead Eagles, a 2nd division team, to the Eredivisie. He took Utrecht from ranked 15 club to rank 5 with beautiful football. Again, I didn't know that. I haven't even done that level of research, but there we go. That's an achievement in itself. You signed Casemiro and Anthony since Boovy said that. That's true. That is true, to be fair. I bet Boovy said maybe top 8 now. Then there we go. Listen, everyone that's tuned in, a big thank you to all of you. Kaz, always a pleasure. Egal, my guy, I loved it. Patrick, and of course, man like Mots. Colin had to shoot off. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. We've kind of done these shows a bit longer the last 2 times because there's no football going on, so it's boring. But Champions League match reactions tomorrow. Me and Lee Gunn are live tomorrow as well, so make sure you're tuning in for basically the last round of match reaction shows we're going to be doing until after the international break, which is shit. But listen, take care. Goodbye. God bless everybody, and we'll